It is one of the oldest rivalries east of the Mississippi. In 1892, the Kenyon College Lords and the Oberlin College Yeomen got together on the football field. Well, they're back to renew it here in 2016. With Tom Cole, the coach, I'm Joe Martinoski, and welcome to Kenyon College in Cambria, Ohio. Today's telecast being brought to you in high def courtesy of Dave White Chevrolet. The place to go is Alexis and Monroe, Dave White Chevrolet, and you want to talk about a rivalry that goes back. You don't see that many of them, but this is one for the ages.
Well, small college football, Joe, you know what it means to you and to me, and to me it's the essence of football in so many ways. It's like a Rockwellian painting out here with the families and the tailgating, and a lot of our BCSN stars are playing small college football.
We're going to see some of those with Jake LaPointe from Whitmer and a couple others as well, and talk to some throughout the game as well. Let's talk about this game on the field, the X's and O's, and we're going to start with Kenyon. They had a tremendous win, 21-17 last week over Sewanee, the University of the South, or the College of the South as they call themselves. And it was the play of a freshman quarterback, Thomas Merkel, 315 yards and one touchdown.
Well, Joe, when you play a freshman who's taking his first snap in a college game, you don't know how they're going to react. What Tommy did is he threw for over 300 yards. He was a leader. He pushed the ball downfield. He played like a veteran. Incredible start for this freshman.
Oberlin College wasn't as lucky. They lost their game 36-29 to a college out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. But they also have a freshman quarterback in Zach Taylor, and he's a good one. He passed for over 300 yards and rushed for over 100. So you want to talk about the definition of a dual threat quarterback, you've got it, Taylor.
Yeah, he's a good one. He had a remarkable game as a first start, first snap college quarterback. So we have two new quarterbacks that had great starts. See what happens to them today.
All right, Coach, you played quarterback in college and in high school both at Ohio Wesleyan. Give me a quick synopsis of what we're going to see today from these two new starters.
Well, that's a good question, Joe. I think Oberlin gave up almost 600 yards of offense last week, so I look for Kenyon to start fast. I look for Merkel to push the ball to Hunka. Hunka might be, you're going to see maybe one of the best receivers in all small college football with Hunka. Bell is a physical possession receiver over the top. The Kenyon Wildcats a real weapon with Bell back there. So look for Kenyon to start fast offensively.
They also got Jabri McClain back as well. He's been injured, but he caught a few passes last week, but he's at full strength this week.
Well, and the reason they're catching passes, Hunk is so good, he gets doubled on every play. So he takes a safety and a corner away on every play. And like I said, I'm not that good in math, Joe, but if you take two away with one, somebody's free down the middle. So you may see that today.
Well, it's Alumni Weekend here at Kenyon College, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after this. Stay with us.
Now take your favorite live local sports with you wherever you go with the Watch BCSN app. Just download the app, and in seconds you'll be streaming the BCSN networks live directly to your smartphone or tablet. Miss a game? Hit the On Demand tab and watch any event from the last month in an instant. Download the Watch BCSN app today.
Back with the head coach, Chris Monfiletto. And, Chris, you had an exciting game last week, 21-17. We talked to Kurt Williams, the guy who made that interception in the end zone. How important was that leading into week 2?
It was huge. I mean, we were in that situation a couple times last year. We lost 4 games by less than 7 points, and to be able to make that stop in that point in time kind of shows our maturity a little bit over the course of the past couple years, so it's nice.
What'd you tell the kids after that victory?
We just told them to continue to work on the process of practicing each day better than the last one and things like that. Don't get too caught up in that win because we have a whole season ahead of us.
Well, you've got an incredible quarterback, a young freshman that threw for over 300 yards and a touchdown in Thomas Merkel. What's your thoughts and your impressions of his first? I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah, he had a great first game. The receivers bailed him out a couple of times, and he was pretty good when we got him on the run a little bit. But he spends a lot of time with me, just watching extra film and that sort of thing. So I think it's kind of a testament to his work ethic as well.
Obviously, with Bell and Hunka, he's got a lot of receivers, and McLean as well. McLean, I understand, was injured earlier, but now he's back to pretty much full strength.
Yeah, good receiving group and an older receiving group, and so those guys kind of keep him even keel, which is nice.
Oberlin College, let's talk about the things that they present. First of all, the tough things you got to work on to beat this team.
Yeah, they're explosive offensively, so we got to eliminate the big plays. They scored on all big plays last week, and they went down early and came all the way back like we did, so that's one thing that we need to focus on.
You and I were talking about that big receiver, Justin Cruz. He's tough to stop.
Yeah, he's great. He's a good two-sport athlete, plays baseball too. He's a great player.
Zach Taylor, 23 carries, over 100 yards last week for Oberlin.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I mean, it's a lot to handle, so.
When you look at this game, it dates back to 1892. I don't know if you knew that or not, but how important is this? A little bit more important than just your run-of-the-mill Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, this is a neat thing. We have 200 alums here that I think you guys are going to interview at some point today, so it's neat. Nobody from the class of 1892, but it's neat. It's a neat rivalry.
Last question, then we'll send you on your way. Give us a recruiting for Kenyon College for those that are out there listening to this interview that want to open their eyes to Kenyon and Gambier, Ohio, and the great place and the great atmosphere this is.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I mean, if you look at all the D3 schools in the country, Kenyon academically right now is in the top 10. So it's a great place to play great football, develop as a human being, and get a great education.
Well, congratulations on your success. Best of luck today.
Thank you very much.
That's Chris Monfiletto, the head coach of the Kenyon Lords. And we'll be right back.
Want to get back in shape without leaving your living room? BCSN and the YMCA and JCC of Greater Toledo are here to help with your shape up. Whether you're a beginner or advanced athlete, our trained fitness instructors will lead you in the latest cardio, strength training, Pilates, and yoga workouts. Get active with your shape up.
Back with more Kenyon football, and it's certainly an honor and a privilege for me to be with one heck of a football player at Kenyon, Ian Bell. Ian, last week, and I know you don't want the star thing, but really you were the star of the ball game. You're the offensive player of the week. You rushed for 2 touchdowns out of the Wildcat. I think you caught, I don't know how many passes for about 95 yards. It was a great all-around game for you. Did you know that day, did you have a feel that, boy, I'm gonna do pretty well today?
Honestly, going into it, I was hoping to get some balls thrown to me and get some rushes out of the Wildcat, but they decided that they were going to stop Rob Meager and our offensive line from running the ball, so it really opened it up for me and the other receivers, make big plays down the field. Obviously, Jabri and Hunka had a lot of deep balls that really loosened it up and made it really easy for me.
You're the kind of receiver and the kind of player that a quarterback really appreciates, because you'll go over the middle, you'll take the hit, you'll make the physical catch. Do you enjoy the physical? It looks to me from upstairs you enjoy the physical part of the game.
Well, yeah, if you're playing football, you gotta love hitting somewhat. Yeah. You can't be scared when you're playing this sport, but it's part of the game. I'm used to it, so I really enjoy it.
Well, I also noticed you're pretty comfortable in the Wildcat. Like you said, you rushed for 2 touchdowns, and it was key to the game out of the Wildcat. You're a former high school quarterback, so you don't mind being in the shotgun. It's not something that scares you.
Yeah. It feels really natural for me. Going back to, I think I started playing quarterback maybe 7th grade. So before I switched here, it was what I was used to. It's fun for me. It's a lot less pressured.
Ian, you can see that there is a great esprit de corps on this team. You can see that the teammates support one another. They have fun. It really is a family kind of atmosphere. How much has Kenyon meant to you in your career?
All the guys have been great. Like, since I've come in here as a freshman, you feel like you're joining a family. Guys, seniors through freshmen are all going to be really good friends for life. I'm still keeping contact with seniors from my freshman year, and we live with each other, and we just want to spend time with each other. We can't get enough of each other.
Big guy, got to ask you, what are you majoring in? The academics here are as good as they are anywhere in the country. I know how tough they are. What are you majoring in? What do you want to do when you graduate?
I'm an economics major right now. I'm hoping to get into the financial world, and then eventually go to business school after that.
Big guy, I may call you. I have no portfolio at all, so I may be calling you. We'll get something worked out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Listen, on behalf of BCSN and Buckeye Broadband, we wish you nothing but the best. You're a class guy, and you give a great performance every time you go out there.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back with more Kenyon football.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Cable System, is presented by Ballas Buick GMC, doing business with character. The Andersons, a store like no other. And by TAS Electronics.
Well, it's turned out to be a gorgeous afternoon here in Gambia, Ohio, Kenyon College. The rain is holding off, the sun is out, and we're going to have football for you very shortly here on BCSN. With the coach, Tom Cole, in the press box, I'm Joe Rudnowski. And, Tom, this should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it started.
Yeah, this small college football at its best, Joe, and Kenyon had a big win last week on the second last play of the ball game, and expect a great game today.
Kenyon will receive the kickoff. Oberlin actually won the toss, and they deferred the second half. So Kenyon will take the football at the 7-yard line, and here they come with the return. Alex Gant-Invite, and he gets up to about the 19-yard line before he stopped right there, so that's where Kenyon will put it in play and start their opening drive. Let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Rick Pola, with a very special guest. Rick?
Hey, thanks, Joe. Down here with Dr. David Utlak from the class of, the undefeated team of 1972.
1972, class 74.
Class of 74, and Dr. Utlak, we had some discussion before the game, and we talked about your days here. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to be playing here in 1972 and an undefeated team.
Well, it was a lot different than it is now, I can tell you that. A lot of upgrades on the facilities, and I'm sure the kids are the same quality as when we were here, but it was a wonderful experience, one of the best of my life, I have to tell you.
Well, this is homecoming. I'm sure a lot of the former alumni here would like to know what Dr. Utlak's doing these days.
Well, I'm a cardiologist in Canton, Ohio, and past president of the State Medical Association of Ohio, and ended up doing all my medical training at Ohio State. And tell you, my football experience here, I think, has lent me a lot of good experience in terms of dealing with a lot of stressful situations.
Well, it's always been said that sports, does create character, and you certainly are, a product of that. Also, tell us a little bit about academically what it was like here and how that helped you prepare for your career.
Well, I think the best thing was about liberal arts education. In other words, taking philosophy and history, economics, political science. I think that helped me more in my life than actually all the biology and chemistry I did. And of course, I had to do a lot of biology and chemistry to practice what I do, but that rounded out the education very well.
Well, we appreciate having you on here today, and I know you want to get back up towards those festivities, so thanks for being with us, and best of luck to you in the rest of your career.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, back to you guys.
Rick and Doc, thank you very much. We appreciate it. A couple catches by Jabri McLean, hands the ball out to the 35-yard line. Good opening drive here for Kenyon College.
Well, Joe, they just missed. McLean made a real nice catch. It was a high ball. He took his head up with the pass, and that's fundamentally what you're supposed to do. They ran a dig route in the last play, and one thing that Tommy Merkel, number 12, freshman quarterback, who had a great game last week, he's got to learn a little too hot on that ball, a little too much salsa on, and he's got to touch that a little bit more. It was hard to handle.
McLean had 4 catches for 75 yards last week, already 2 today, and this pass is underthrown. Nearly picked off. Good defense by Ben Vernerde.
Well, Tom was under a little duress there. Last week, he was very comfortable, Joe. They got Tom out of the pocket, and he felt very comfortable out of the pocket, and it was much easier for him to find receivers, and I would assume they would continue doing that again today. That just was a pressured throw, and he kind of got lucky there, as you said. Could have been picked.
After 2 great starts by both these freshman quarterbacks, Merkel for Kenyon, and on the other side, Taylor for Oberlin, do you expect them to maybe take a step back because they were so good in week 1, which isn't a bad thing?
No. That's a great question, Joe, and that's when you're young, it's hard to be consistent. That's the difference between a veteran and a young guy. So I would assume one of them would not play as well today, so we'll see which one it is. But it is very difficult to maintain a level like that as a young freshman.
Rob Meager got the carry. He's got it out across the 40-yard line, but that's a 4th down and 4, and a punting formation for Kenyon College. So they'll punt it away. It'll be Ian Bell, who's also a standout wideout, who will punt it for the Lords.
Ian had a little bit of a hamstring last week, but I think he's healthy now, and he hit the ball like he is healthy.
Ball received at the 25-yard line, and not a lot there. Jabari Clemens, maybe a couple yards of return, but good special teams for Kenyon College.
Well, the kicking game, Joe, you've done football for so long, so well. The yardage in the kicking game, if you do the kicking game right, every aspect of it, you're going to win a lot of football games, and that includes coverage.
Well, you're able to flip the field, and that's exactly what Kenyon College did there.
Yeah, you get a 3 and out here and get the ball back, and suddenly, you're a first down or 2 from going into 4-down territory.
So many of the great coaches over the years have stressed that. You go back to Ohio State, Jim Tressel.
Yep.
Tressel's favorite play was the punt.
Yep, that's a great offensive play if you do it right.
Taylor's pass is complete out to the far sidelines, up to the 35-yard line. Goes Justin Cruz, and Cruz is a guy that Coach Monfiletto and I talked about before the game that they're going to have to stop this young man to be successful today. There are your starters for Oberlin, anchored by that offensive line. Big offensive line, averages 250 pounds. Your backs and receivers, you'll keep an eye on Cruz, and this quarterback keeper, Zach Taylor, that's something too. You got to keep an eye on Cruz, but at the same time, you've got a quarterback that rushed for over 100 yards last week. So
yeah, he amassed an unbelievable amount of yardage, and the first pass he just threw was just a quick hitch out to the sideline, but you see how quick the ball got in and out of his hands. Demonstrates that he's got a pretty good arm.
Third down and very manageable, about 2 yards. Taylor's going to keep it again. He's got the first down across the 40 up to the 42.
And as you said, Joe, you just pointed that out, that he made the little belly fake and he kept it himself, and he rushed for about 130 last week.
There's your defense. Your defensive line, your linebackers, and of course your defensive backfield. Kurt Williams was the hero last week.
Boy, he made a big play, Joe, in the corner of the end zone. Second last play of the ball game, he picked it off and saved the day.
Preserved a 21-17 win. There's a pass down the middle of the field intended for Jabari Clemens, but it was overthrown.
Well, you get a good look at Zach Taylor's arm there. That was just a straight go route. He flicked that ball out there, Joe. That's about 45 yards, and he just flicked it. It was somewhat effortless. So this young man, Zach Taylor's got a terrific arm for the Yeoman.
Oberlin College is with the wind here, but there's not a huge breeze, just a little bit blowing. So here they are on second down with Taylor in the shotgun. He'll roll to his left, looking for an opening, but doesn't have one. Stacked up there by a host of defenders. Jacob LaPointe, and I mentioned him, and I'm going to say his name over and over, big number 52. He's a Whitmer product.
He's a terrific young man. We interviewed him last week at Whitmer High School, BCSN star, and just a great kid. You talked to his mother before the ball game
Deb,
today.
Great family.
Yeah, great family, wonderful lady. His older brother was a star here.
Nick, sure.
Now Jacob is doing a great job and also doing the job in the classroom.
Interesting thing about him, he started his college career on the offensive side of the football and moved to defense, and his mom says he just absolutely loves it.
Well, defense, you get to dish it out a little bit instead of taking it.
Yeah, that's right. He took it for many years. That's a tough pass, but it's complete out there to the far sidelines, and that's Jabari Clemens, and he's got the first down. Boy, that was a good big-time throw by Zach Taylor across the field like that.
Joe, that's a great observation. From where they threw that out, and it's just a little 10-8 sideline. You drive down 10 and you come back at 8 on an angle. But where he was set up in the pocket, where the ball was put in the hash mark, that's a 22-yard out that he threw, and that's a big-time throw.
Especially for a true freshman.
Yeah,
Both of these players are true freshmen.
Yep.
It's not like big colleges where you get redshirt year. Good running room up the middle, Khalil Rivers. So again, good yardage on first down, Tom. Will set up second about 4.
Well, I think something, Joe, the Yeoman might be looking to do today offensively is to possess the ball a little bit. Short passing game, run the ball, because their defense last week gave up about 600 yards. When your defense gives up 600 yards, Joe, you got to keep them rested on the sideline. But they might have been out on the field too long last week.
They lost 36-29 to Kalamazoo College up in Michigan. As Taylor's going to keep it after kind of a missed snap.
Yeah.
Kind of a broken play there, but Taylor made something out of nothing, and he's very close to another first down, just shy of the first down mark.
Watch the catch. You see Craig in the truck, that's a nice camera shot. How casual was Taylor? The ball was way high. He caught it with one hand. You get a good look at number 4 there. 23
carries for 131 yards in that loss to Kalamazoo. They were down big. They actually scored 3 touchdowns late and had a chance to win it late in the fourth quarter. But Kalamazoo hung on for the victory.
I think he's going to be a good one. I really, really do.
We talked about this being one of the longest running rivalries east of the Mississippi. Started in 1892. The series, all-time series lead goes to Oberlin, but it's very close. Listen to this, Tom. 42-38-6. That's about as close as it gets.
Yeah, and I think Oberlin's won the last 5 out of 7.
They have indeed. We'll take a commercial timeout. No score with 9:36 to go in quarter number 1. Back with the coach, Tom Cole. I'm Joe Agnoski. Craig Weeks is our esteemed director today. 3rd down and 2. Taylor scrambling. He's got an opening. He's got the first down. He's down to the 30-25 where he goes out of bounds. He's finally run out of bounds by Kurt Williams.
Yeah, well, you see why Zach Taylor, number 4 for the Yeomen, rushed for 130 last week. And he even did it on a busted play. Do you notice, Joe? Either the back went the wrong way or Taylor turned the wrong way, but I think the back went the wrong way. So there was really no fake. He did it all on his own, number 4. But he doesn't look like a freshman out there. He's pretty casual, pretty comfortable.
6 foot, 190 pounds. And here he comes again, and he's not afraid to really put his head down and get in there. He was brought down that time by Saxon Justice, the 5'9", 213-pounder from McLean, Virginia.
Young quarterbacks today, their development is so accelerated with all the passing camps and things that they do as youngsters. They really, their development is really accelerated.
Taylor, Clemens, end zone, incomplete.
Well, that was just a post corner route, Joe, and that was a great throw. And somebody might say, well, why was that a great throw? It wasn't complete. But they were running a post corner, which means you bend to the post and then turn it out to the corner. But he put it in a place, Taylor put it in a place where his guy was covered, but only his guy would get it. Now watch where he places this ball. He's covered, and he puts it in a corner where just, if he's going to get it, he'll get it, but no one else will touch it. And that's really a pretty good throw.
Good coverage by Jack Hanratty down there. He was running stride for stride with Clemens. So 3rd down and 7. Big chance for the Kenyon defense here. Taylor, and he stops shy of the first down.
Well, I think this is just the kind of drive that Coach Anderson wants from the Yeomen today at Oberlin, because I think he wants to keep his defense on the bench. You know, when they gave up a lot of yards and a lot of points last week, and when you have a defense doing that, Joe, the best thing you can do is keep them on the bench, and you control the ball. You keep them off the field.
Jamal Perkins made the stop. So this will be a 35-yard field goal attempt from Michael Lashishin. Say that 10 times. Lashishin.
I'm going to let you do it, Joe. You're the pro.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you are.
35 yards out. It is up, and it is good. So Oberlin College, the Yeomen take a 3-0 lead midway through the first. So 3-0 our score. Back with the coach, Tom Cole. I'm Joe Mordnowski. We were talking in the commercial break about this turf.
Yeah.
It's only a year old. This is the 2nd year of it. It is absolutely spectacular.
Well, aesthetically, obviously, it's beautiful pictures for us in the broadcast. It's great to look at, but more importantly, for the safety of the players, Joe, it's as good as natural grass. I mean, the comfort level of the surface that you're being hit on and falling on is incredibly engineered so well that it's like playing almost on a natural surface.
Yeah, you and I were down there doing some interviews before the game. We're just kind of walking around, checking it out. And a lot of the Kenyon College alumni that are here on Alumni Weekend were talking to us about it. And just look how nice that is.
And this has changed so much. Craig's given us a nice look at that. Thanks, Craig. You know, in the early days of the turf, it really was just a thin rug put over asphalt. That's all it was. Now it's just like playing on regular grass.
You've got the ground-up tires
Yep.
underneath there. You've really got some cushion now, and this is a field that's second to none. I know they're very proud of it, and deservingly so. So second offensive possession for Kenyon as Meager, pretty good running room. Oberlin strung it out, but not before Rob Meager picked up about 4 yards on first down. Here's the offense for the Kenyon College Lords. good offensive line, Tom, and they're able to get a lot of yards, and they do equally as well at pass blocking as they do run blocking.
Yep, and Meager's the guy they need to get going. He didn't have a lot of success last week. They need to get him going because he's a real tough running back, hard hat, lunch pail kind of guy.
They're going to go on the jet sweep. That's Brian Hunka. Hunka had an absolutely huge game last week. 7 catches, 96 yards for Hunka. There's your defensive line, and it's a good one.
Yep, they played well last week, and you mentioned Hunka, number 7. Keep an eye on him, Joey. He's one of the better small college receivers I've ever seen, and he's double covered on every play, and he still has the big games, you know.
So 3rd down and 5. Big play here for Kenyon. They need to keep those chains moving. Quick pass out to the flat. It's caught, and it's a 1st down. Good quick play. Ian Bell made the catch.
That's a great call, Joe. Ian, we interviewed him before the ball game, and he just does a chain hitch. He drives down to the chain. You see the chain right there. Turns his quick shoulder inside, and Merkel put the ball right on him. But what you didn't see in the formation is Hunka was on the other side, and he took 2 guys away, which Merkel, number 12, knew immediately that Bell would be one-on-one in soft coverage, and so he went to him. So it was really good recognition.
6 catches for 95 yards last week against Sewanee. We had a chance to meet his dad before the game, and what a nice man he is. He came up and was congratulating us in the broadcast, you particularly, because I wasn't here last week, Tom, and just a tremendous man, and so proud of his son, and it's just really cool.
I think that's part of the beauty of small college is that this is just a little power sweep off tackle. Meager makes a nice cut. Boy, see, he'll drop his shoulder on you, Joe. He's a square shoulder runner, and he'll get that extra yard. Those are the kind of yards they got to get. They got to get for Meager because that keeps the defense off. That keeps them honest. But the small college atmosphere, meeting the parents, the tailgating.
Love it.
Again, it's like a Rockwellian painting out here.
Merkel with some time. Ball dropped at the 45-yard line. Tried to get it out to Ian Bell again, but it was just underthrown a little bit. So.
Yeah, that play was a little disjointed from the start. Tommy Merkel got pushed out of the pocket. You'll take a look at this. He gets a little seal block on the outside. The ball must have slipped a little bit because it was nose down. Ian Bell, number 9, tried to come back and catch it. Tommy hasn't been sharp in the pass game so far as he was last week, Joe. Last week, every pass was spot on. So far, he's started a little bit slow, so they need to get Tommy going.
Well, he's just a true freshman. He had his first collegiate start last week, and he was so successful. Almost had an offsides there against Oberlin, but the ball wasn't snapped, and that pass was thrown just in front of Brian Hunka.
Well, that's a little circle in from the slot with Hunka, and it's a cute little play. It's part of the Bill Walsh passing tree. Take a look at it, but Tommy throws it too hard. See how close he is? How close he is to Hunka there. He's got to take a little something off of that because it's too hard to handle. And that's a learning thing that a young quarterback goes through.
So punting situation again. It'll be Ian Bell once again back to kick.
Boy, Ian had a huge game last week. He really did. 2 touchdowns from the running position in the Wildcat. Good receiving yardage. He's a great punter. He just hit a bomb right there.
Wow, what a punt. Jabari Clemens takes it to 21. He's up across the 35 where he takes a big hit. He's thrown back to about the 32-yard line.
Ian hit a great punt.
Sam Dickey was the first, I understand, to make the hit, as we'll take a look at the replay here.
Well, Sam, if he was the first one to make the hit, watch this. He kind of got waffled here.
Bam! Yeah, it was. Oh, man!
That's called in football, Joe, that's called a decleater because you're laying on your back and your cleats are up in the air. Sammy got waffled there. That was a little tough.
Give him credit for throwing
I give
his
him
body
credit.
in
I
there,
would have,
though.
yeah, I would have been crying, headed for the bench. Sammy, he's stuck in there.
Well, you hear so much about the gunners on special team. You just go down there and you throw your body around, and you've got to be a real special football player.
You do. You have
Maybe
to have
a
some
screw
courage.
loose or two to do that.
You do. You have to. There's a lot of courage that it takes to run down and cover those kicks. You're exactly right.
Personal foul against Oberlin, though, Tom, will back him up to the 25-yard line. So, but yeah, those guys that do that, they're one of a kind, aren't they?
They really are. It takes a lot of guts.
Special players. So here's Taylor again at quarterback. They get it to Rivers, and Rivers good yardage across the 30 to about the 31-yard line before he's brought down there. Saxon Justice with his second tackle of the afternoon for Kenyon.
There's some justice in that for Justice because he's a good tackler. He had some great tackles last week. He's real fundamentally sound.
I mentioned earlier he's from McLean, Virginia. They've got a lot of different states represented, different areas of the country that have come here to take advantage of a outstanding education and the chance to continue their athletic careers in Division III football.
Joe, the academics here are unprecedented. I mean, they are incredible. The academic reputation for Kenyon across the country is spectacular.
And it's extremely scenic. It was voted one of the top scenic colleges in all of America just a few years ago. So they've certainly got a lot going on here. Taylor, and he's brought down the backfield. Brilliant job. The tackle made by Mike Gibbons.
Gibby, I'll tell you what, Gibby had a great game last week. Totem pulled a couple of guys last week. Now watch him. I don't know if this is delayed blitz. Maybe Craig will give us another look at this to see where Gibby is. Yeah, it's a delayed blitz. He came off the corner, and Gibby has great closing speed. You know, he can close on ball carriers, close on the quarterback. That's how you disrupt a young quarterback. Great job, 44.
St. Ignatius, so he comes from a storied high school football factory over in the Cleveland area. That punt's going to land at midfield and bounce out right at the 50-yard line, so Kenyon's going to get great field position to start this drive.
Now, Joe, your theory's on the punt, right? So you exchange punts. Ian Bell had a great punt. Nothing pejorative to the Yeoman punter, but it wasn't a good punt.
It wasn't a yeoman's effort.
Yeah, it wasn't a yeoman's effort. I'll let you go there, Joe. So you exchange punts, and look where you've got the ball. Midfield now, a couple of first downs, you're in 4-down territory. So that's what the punt game can mean to you.
And so many take it for granted.
Yeah, you got to practice it. I mean, it's got to be
do.
a big part of your game plan.
But if you notice, the good teams at any level have good punters and good kickers. Merkel's pass is going into coverage, and it's going to be pass interference.
It was an obvious interference. The official was right on it. The Yeoman got in. They were running a double sideline clear pattern, and it was well covered. Really, the DB for Oberlin didn't really have to interfere. It was pretty well covered, but he got into the body of the Kenyon receiver well before the ball got there.
Von Wooding is guilty of the pass interference. That ball was intended for Jabri McLean, and he was triple covered. You're right. We'll watch it one more time.
Tommy Merkel rolls out. They're going to do a double sideline. There's Bell underneath. There's a go by Hunka on top. Here's the second sideline. He was triple covered.
Yeah.
And but there was definite interference. The officials got it right.
So they call the interference call against Oberlin. And that moves the ball with the penalty up to the 39-yard line. They reset on 1st and 10. Pass is caught on the far side by Ben Bernardi. Or checked that by Brian Hunka.
Yeah.
And Hunka picks up big yardage on 1st down. There's a flag on the play.
I think they went high on Hunka.
Yeah.
Either went high to the head or grabbed something in the face mask. But, you know, that's the play that you want. They had off coverage on Hunka, and they threw a quick hitch out to him. And he, one-on-one with a DB is going to be a mismatch for him. He's going to get positive yardage every time. Yeah, they took
it's
the
a face mask, personal foul against Oberlin, and you want to talk about shooting yourself in the foot.
Now here it is. Quick hitch out to Hunka. There he goes. Makes the first guy miss. They go up high on him. Yeah, and it wasn't intentional, but when you're grabbing up high around the helmet area, Joe, sometimes your hand gets in there, gets in around the mask or in the ear hole of the helmet, and you kind of grab whatever you can grab to get him down.
It's a 15-yard penalty. The ball spotted at the 18-yard line. So after two big penalties, first a pass interference and now a face mask call. Kenyon is set up inside the red zone. Merkel under center. Fakes to Meager, and they've got the end around with Brian Hunka. Hunka's got some room. He cuts it up down to about the 10-yard line.
Well, they do that a lot. You know, they use Hunka in so many different ways because he's just so athletic. He makes people miss. Number 7, he's a tremendous small college receiver. One of these days when they bring Hunka around, what they're going to do is have him throw the football. I think somebody be standing by themselves in the corner of the end zone.
Larkspur, California, another one of the states represented. Michigan, California, Maryland, Ohio, of course. Pennsylvania, Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Texas. I'm just reading down the list. Florida, Georgia, West Virginia. Ian Bell that time, Tom. Not a whole lot of running room, but not a bad play.
Well, this was a great formation for them last week, Joe, the Kenyon Cat. What they do is they remove the quarterback. They put Ian Bell back there, a former high school quarterback. And then this is called a picket play, Joe. What Ian does is he just picks. Everybody movement blocks up front. You take your man whichever way they're going, and then Ian reads the hole and goes. And he rushed for 2 touchdowns off the Kenyon Cat last week.
So 1st and goal for Kenyon, trying to answer a field goal by Oberlin. Here in the first quarter, 3 minutes and counting. Back to the Wildcat formation with Bell at quarterback. Bell's going to run it again around the left side, looking for room. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Kenyon.
That's now the 3rd touchdown for Ian Bell out of the Wildcat. He's becoming Mr. TD around the goal line. But Joe, the key to this Wildcat play for Kenyon, watch 27. Watch Meager. Watch Meager on the edge there. See Meager seal him right there? That's the block that got him in the end zone. Great job by Meager. Great camera shot by our guys.
Looks like they're going to line up to go for 2 here, Tom.
They may shift into the kick
and now
formation.
They'll shift into the kick formation.
Great block by Meager to get Ian Bell into the end zone, though.
The extra point is up, and it is right through the uprights. So a good touchdown drive, aided by a couple Oberlin College penalties, puts Kenyon on the board. It's now Kenyon 7, Oberlin College 3. All righty, we're back. Simo to kick off for Kenyon. And they try an onside kick, but it's covered at midfield by Bennett Jackson. So Oberlin will set up with good field position. While they trot their offense onto the field, I'll send it down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Rick Poland. Ricky?
Thanks, Joe, down here with Jake Bates, a name that I'm sure Kenyon fans will remember. Most recently, the quarterback here last year. Jake, I'm sure everybody wants to know what you're doing these days now that you graduated.
Yeah, I'm working finance out in Richmond, Virginia. Actually got hooked up with a Kenyon football alumni, and it's been a great experience so far.
So Kenyon has provided you not only with a great athletic experience here and great education, but just a good transition into the job market.
Yeah, absolutely. I had an internship set up again through Kenyon, specifically the football program, and so I landed on my feet after school, and I'm sure my mom was happy about that. But it was good to get employment and doing all right so far.
Well, that's great. Well, you've had a chance to see the current edition of the team here, and what's it feel like coming back? You know, just the first year back, you're so familiar with everybody.
Yeah, it's tough. We had our first chilly fall day the other day, and it was like, man, I should be on a field right now. But I know it's hard to watch these guys. I wish I was out there fighting with them, but I know they're a strong team this year, and it's fun to watch them.
Well, you've had an opportunity also to see the new freshman quarterback, Tommy Merkel, and what are your thoughts about this freshman and also, the experience that he's got to be going through right now? You went through that.
Yeah, I know Coach Mono's offense is pretty complex, and so, looking at Tommy Merkel, he's got all the physical abilities. He can throw the ball, he's pretty quick, but I know the mental aspect will have to come. Coach Mono puts a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks to put the offense in the right play. It looks like Tommy's been handling it great so far, and really the biggest thing about it is the teammates seem to respect him. I've talked to a few of them over the last few weeks, and they really think he's a good leader as a freshman.
Well, he's had some big shoes to fill, and he's doing them rather well. I guess you can admit that too. And Jake, it's been a pleasure to have you down here. If you were talking to a prospective student about coming to Kenyon, what would be the top thing that you would say to them?
I would say the academic experience is second to none. Really, you're secluded here. You're in this bubble of Gambier, Ohio, and while that might scare a few kids off, really you become so tight knit with the Kenyon community here. You're getting an incredible academic experience. If you choose to play sports, our sports teams are on the up and coming. We've had incredible national champions in swimming, etc. So, you really get a little bit of it all here at Kenyon, and there's not a whole lot negative I can say about the school.
Well, you're a great example of a product of Kenyon as an athlete and also now in the business world. So, again, thanks to you, and good luck in the future.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, back to you guys.
Rick, what a great story. Jake Bates.
He's a heck of a quarterback, Joe. He really did a tremendous job for Kenyon.
Well, he's got a good career in finance now, and it's just really good to hear.
Yeah, Meager just had a nice little carry, but we want to watch. We're going to run back the touchdown of Ian Bell out of the Kenyon Cat. And, Joe, watch the block by 27. It'll come in at the end, and it's a seal block. Here's the Kenyon Cat. Here comes Bell. See him seal right there, 27. It's a kick out and a seal. Great camera shot, Craig and guys and gang. And that made the play. And Ian would be the first one to go congratulate Robbie Meager.
Robbie Meager, another one of those St. Ignatius guys that have made their way to Gambier, Ohio here to play for Kenyon. And I know there's been many of them over the years. That ball is caught. Brian Hunka, he's up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. He just took that right out of the defender's hands.
Number seven, Joe's the magician. Brian Hunka, I'll tell you what, they went for the pick on this. Hunka's got quick hands. Look at him go snatch it. Boom, he's got it. Turns upfield. He can make somebody miss right there. Boom, spin, upfield. Hunka's a player.
And that was textbook because he caught the ball out away from his body.
You're so spot on, Joe. It's called tweezering the ball. You get it outside your body.
Now they faked the jet sweep to Hunka and handed to Meager, and Meager's up near the 40-yard line.
To your point, Joe, if Hunka doesn't go out and get that ball outside his body, it's picked off going the other way. And it's 6. So that tells you the fundamentals that are involved in this ball game.
Chris Hardman and I were stressing that last night at the high school game we did. It's so important for high school receivers to learn good technique because you just carry that on, it becomes secondary.
If you always wait for the ball to come to you, it gives the defensive back more closing time on you.
So second down and call it 6. Merkel's pass for Hunka is in and out of his hands that time.
Yeah, and Brian is not going to – he's hitting himself in the head. Brian says, oh, man, he's not going to miss too many of those. It was just a straight seam slant, but he's hitting his shoulder pad. He's saying it's on me. I should have caught it. It was a little bit behind him.
Yeah, it was thrown a little behind him. It's something that he catches 99% of the time.
Brian's hitting his pad telling his young quarterback, hey, that's on me. I should have had that.
If you're able to get your hands on it at this level,
you're
most likely you're going to catch it. So with 9 seconds to go, 3rd down and 6 now for Kenyon. Merkel over the middle, caught for the first down, and into Oberlin College territory. That's Hunka again.
Yeah.
He just hunkered down in the first down marker.
Yeah.
And took it across midfield down to the 45, and that was just a beautifully thrown and beautifully caught football.
Brian Hunka is a hunka burning yardage, man. I'll tell you what. He went down and just did a little turn in, but what he did that was so smart is he looked for the opening to settle in there.
And that's the end of the first quarter. 7-3. Kenyon with the lead. on what has turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous Saturday afternoon for college football. We're in Gambier, Ohio at Kenyon College, where the Kenyon College Lords lead the Oberlin College Yeomen 7-3. And here's Merkel again wanting to throw. And it's caught once again down to the 30-yard line. Great footwork. Take it down there.
Ian Bell is just such a tough competitor. He scored the touchdown for Kenyon. He hangs on the sideline. Merkel rolls out. It's a deep turnout on the sideline. Now watch him. See, he's getting beat down. Boom, boom.
Tap dance there by Bell, who was our star of the game last week.
And Merkel is much more comfortable, Joe, throwing on the run. It's easier for him to see, easier for him to find his potential receivers, and so they're moving him out of the pocket.
Yeah, he had Clemens running wide open underneath. And here's Bell in that wildcat again, and we're waiting for him to throw the football out of that formation.
He's a former high school quarterback, and eventually that's going to happen, because what happens is they see Bell come in the Kenyon Cat, and everybody loads up inside, and they figure run. And one of these times, Ian, number 9, Ian Bell's going to fake the run. He's going to throw the ball.
Well, he can do it all.
Yep.
He also punts.
The Kenyon Cat has been very, very good to Kenyon thus far this year.
So Merkel back in at quarterback. Nat Henry now running back to Merkel's right. They'll fake to Henry. They'll throw it to Hunka. And Hunka's got very near first down yardage, down about the 20-yard line. I think he did get the first down, Tom.
Well, it should be an automatic call. They threw a quick hitch out to Hunka with a blocker on the outside because it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. When they're off a Hunka like that, there's 7-8 yards of cushion they're giving him. You got to take it. I mean, it's kind of like stealing, quite honestly.
Justin Butte made the tackle for Oberlin College, but not before Hunka got very near a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. Noah Montgomery in at quarterback to take this snap. And the give is to Nat Henry. And Henry's got the first down. He was brought down by Virgil Demery, but not before he gets first down yardage.
Well, Kenyon's really starting to get great play calling here by Coach Chris Monfiletto for Kenyon. He's an outstanding young head coach, and he gets a good feel or rhythm for the game. He uses all of his offensive stars.
That's it. He's got a lot of weapons.
Yeah, he gets the ball to to Bell X amount of times. He gets it to Hunka X amount of times. He gets it to Meager. I mean, he spreads it around, and he really does a nice job calling the offense.
So Merkel again on 1st and 10 at the 19. Merkel's going to throw, and it's caught by Hunka.
Well,
out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Joe, when they're using off coverage on Hunka, that's like going to the grocery store, filling up your cart, and just stealing everything. I mean, you can't off cover on him. He's just too good underneath. He'll catch those all day long.
So the Kenyon Cat, as you call him.
Yep.
He's racking up some big yards here in the first half.
Now this is a good combo here with Bell and Hunka, both split to the same side. If they sprint Tommy out left, Merkel, they could get something going here.
Henry in the backfield with Tommy Merkel. And they give it to Henry. And Henry's got the first down, still on his feet, down inside the 5 to the 2-yard line.
Boy, that was a nice power run, Joe. That really was. Credit to the big guys up front for Kenyon. That was a straight-ahead, old-fashioned football power run. Take a look at this.
6'1", 255 pounds is Henry, and he used every bit of it here. Just run it over
look
guys.
Look at his legs. He's a road grader. He starts downhill. He's moving some gravel.
New Albany High School in New Albany, Ohio, for Nat Henry. Now they go to the I formation. They're going to go right back to him. This time Henry stopped in the backfield.
Well, they blew a tire on the road grader that time. It wasn't his fault. He just didn't have any room to get going. When you have a big back like that, 250, 255, you got to give them some space to get it going. If you get them before they get going, you can stop them. But once they get that momentum, that's where they're really effective.
Von Wooding made the stop. He's just a freshman linebacker from Flushing, Ohio. 6', 205 pounds. But how about that? The linebackers are 50 pounds lighter than the running back.
But now they got the Kenyon Cat in again with Ian Bell. It's been a great formation for Kenyon thus far.
Oberlin wants to talk about it defensively when we come back. 2nd and 5. Ball on the 5-yard line as Kenyon College is threatening to score again. They got the big fullback, John Clark, in front of Nat Henry as they go back to the same formation on 2nd and 5.
Well, they also have Hunka single covered, which could be a problem for Oberlin if they decide to go to him.
Merkel's going to give it right back to the running back, Henry. Gain of maybe 1 or 2, but not much running room there. Anthony Allen got up there in the gap and made the tackle for Oberlin.
Well, the big man, 24, you get a good look at him. Henry there, boy, I'll tell you, Nat Henry, 255. He's a big guy. You were commenting, Joe, he's bigger than the linebackers that are trying to tackle him.
Isn't that something?
But what you want to do with a big back like that is not have him run sideways, Joe. You want to get him going straight ahead. Sideways negates his power.
Well, they're going right back to that formation. Now they'll split John Clark out to more of a tight end. Put him on the line. And Ian Bell gets the carry. And he looked like he slipped there, Tom, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
He got hit by Justin Butte. So interesting decision here. We'll see if they want to try to kick a field goal or if they're going to go for it on 4th and 4.
Take a look, Joe, see if he did slip.
Yeah, just a little bit.
His foot caught a little bit in the turf.
So they're going to go for it. Big decision here early.
Well, they must think they have a play, Joe. You know, you usually do that when you think you've got something.
So Merkel, Hunka comes split out left with Bell. Merkel on a high snap. He's got a receiver open, and it's caught, bobbled, and dropped. That was the running back, Nat Henry, out of the backfield, and that was wide open.
Yeah,
he threw it maybe a little too late, but Henry had it in his hands.
It was thrown a little bit late. It was a circle out pattern. He made a good catch on a high snap. Nat's there right now. Give it to him. Give it to him. Just a count late, Joe. And then what happened with Nat is he looked at the tacklers that were coming, and he picked his head up, and that's why he missed the ball.
Ben Vernardi was in pursuit, and he was bearing down on Henry. But that ball was thrown a little bit earlier. That's something he'll learn as a freshman quarterback. That's just reps.
Yeah, you're so smart, Joe. That's timing and when the ball gets in and out of your hands. And it was just a count and a half late.
Zach Taylor right up the middle. Melvin Briggs with his first run of the afternoon. Good yardage.
And you might wonder why they didn't kick a field goal there, Joe. You know, people would be maybe questioning that, but if you get a 3 and out here and punt and get the ball back, you're right back there again.
Well, and they had the play to score the touchdown. Here's Zach Taylor on a quarterback keeper. He's shy of the first down, so it's going to be 3rd and short.
So if they can get a 3 and out and exchange a punt here, they'll be in good field position.
Clock continues to move here in the second quarter. We'll be under 9 minutes when the ball snapped. Pressure coming in the middle, and that play's blown up.
Yep.
Looks like they had a blitz coming from the middle of the field. The linebackers were cheating up on the play.
They're short, Joe. So they'll get a punt, maybe get a return, and they'll be right down in 4-down territory very quickly again.
So, Coach, that's exactly what you said, and right spot on, pointing out that, it's a bummer Kenyon wasn't able to punch it in on 4th down. At the same time, they're going to get the ball right back with tremendous field position. Into the wind. Ian Bell back to receive, and that's a pretty good kick. It's fielded at the 44, and Bell caught or signaled a fair catch, so that's where they'll put it in play.
And that's a great play by Ian. A lot of kids would have, because you had to run up and catch that, would have let it bounce, Joe. That bounces, there's another 15 yards or 20 yards that you lose. Ian came up, made the tough catch, and now they've got great field position.
So they'll start on Oberlin's side of the field, officially at the 43-yard line. So Merkel will lead the troops back on the field here, up 7-3, looking for a big touchdown drive here late in the second quarter. Henry remains in the backfield. Merkel's going to throw on 1st down. Looking for Hunka, now has Bell. Bell with a catch at the 10, inside the 5-yard line on a beautiful pass play to Ian Bell. Well, that's a gain of 37 yards.
You talk about the maturation of a young quarterback. His first look was a double move to Hunka, to the left of the screen. Watch this. He looked to Hunka. He wasn't there. Then he went to his second receiver, which was Ian Bell, and he got the ball in the deep post in between two defenders. This is the toughest throw in the book right here, in between the safety and a corner, and that's just a great catch and great throw.
Now Ian Bell back to the Wildcat formation that they use down in these goal line situations. Bell's going to run it, picks his way through, down to the 1, still churning his feet. Kenyon thinks they have a touchdown. No signal yet, though, as they'll unpile everybody. And they marked him down just about the half-yard line, Tom.
Well, Ian has a great feel for this Kenyon cat when he's back there. He really does. He has a great feel for the goal line. He's got 3 touchdowns in this young season already. You take a look at it in the Kenyon cat. He's just picking his hole, trying to get in there, and his teammates are kind of pushing him from the back. Kind of a rugby scrum at that point.
So now under center, Merkel, quarterback sneak.
He's in.
Touchdown.
Does a really nice drive. Great job, great drive. Great catch by Ian Bell. Great throw by Merkel.
So very quick, 3-play drive touchdown for Kenyon College. And they go up 13-3. Here is one more time. It's a quarterback sneak. You just tap the center, say, make it.
Yep. Well, and I think that's what Coach Chris was thinking for Kenyon. We didn't, they didn't take the field goal, the 3 that they would have gotten, but he was saying, geez, we'll hold them, we'll get the ball back, and we'll get 7 again.
Simo comes on for the extra point out of the hold of Josh Abrams, the backup quarterback. Trying to tack one more on. Snap back, ball down, kick up, and it is good. 14-3. Kenyon College leads Oberlin midway through the second. So Simo to kick off. Bounces to the 10. It goes over the head of Chuck Williams and into the end zone. Boy, they were lucky there.
Yeah.
Were the Oberlin College Yeomen. There is a flag on the play. While they sort that out, we will head down to Rick Poland, who has a familiar face and a Kenyon College alum, Charlie Contrada, our old friend, and a member of the 72 undefeated Kenyon Lords, with Rick on the sidelines. Rick?
Hey, thanks, Joe. You're right, Charlie Contrada, part of that undefeated team in 72, coached by former Toledo Central Catholic head coach Tom McHugh, who had a 62 high school state championship under his belt, too, before he came here. So, Charlie, welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's just great to be here. I wish I could strap it on and get out there, but I don't think I could do it anymore.
Well, maybe one play. We should get all those guys from 72 that are here. You got 10. We could have Tom Cole fill out the 11th guy, and then maybe one play.
Well, of course, I played against Tom Cole in high school, too, and Tom Cole went to Ohio Wesleyan, another great school in Central Ohio.
Well, as we mentioned, this is alumni day here with homecoming and everything and all the festivities, and I'm sure this brings back a lot of memories to you.
It sure does. We just had a great time here. We were very successful over the years I was here. Coach McHugh was a terrific coach, and we were sort of ahead of the curve in terms of passing game and some interesting defenses. So we had really good coaches, so that was very helpful.
Well, I'm sure there's been a lot of differences here as you come here, and your ex-teammates are here, and you take a look around at the new facilities, and what does that make you feel like when you see all this extra construction that's been done around here since you left.
Well, it's wonderful to be a part of it. It's wonderful to be an alumni here. In fact, this college got voted most beautiful campus in the world about 5 years ago. And they tore down all the ugly buildings that were put up in the 50s and 60s, which has kind of accounted for that. And this facility, the sports facilities, are unsurpassed by any Division III school in the country.
Every time we come here, we marvel at the beautiful athletic indoor complex that's behind us here down the other side of the end zone. And, as you mentioned, the facilities here are second to none. But, but it's because of people like you, Charlie. I know that you've been a great benefactor to the university, and I think that that speaks a lot to you and to all of your ex-teammates.
Well, thank you. On their undefeated team, we had 5 kids from Toledo. I played at Toledo Rogers. After I graduated from Kenyon, I went to University of Toledo Law School and got a great education, and I'm happy to be back in the Toledo area.
Well, Charlie, it's been a pleasure to have you down here with us. We always like to see you here back on campus, also back home, around Toledo. So continued success to you and good luck, and have fun the rest of the day.
Thanks so much. I will.
Okay, back to you guys.
Charlie's a good man, known him for years. He's been involved with BCSN and
Didn't realize that he was an alum, though. He came up to me before the game, and I'm like, Charlie, he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, Tommy and I helped get this going. I'm just having a great time. This is my first experience here at Kenyon College, and it is so impressive, isn't it?
It's great having you here doing the broadcast, Joe. And, Charlie was a great player at Rogers High School and obviously an outstanding player at Kenyon and one of the top attorneys in Toledo. So Charlie's had quite a career for himself.
Well, and he's such an advocate
class
for
act,
BCSN and a class act and everything he does. We can't thank Charlie enough.
Absolutely.
That's for certain. So first down picked up on the pass play, completed to Robbie Reinhauer. And that'll move the football out to the 36-yard line. If you're Oberlin, you need a good drive here. You can't give Kenyon the football right back.
Joe, you're spot on. Kenyon's offense has kind of dominated play here. And Oberlin really hasn't gotten into a rhythm here. And, Joe, credit the Kenyon defense. I'll tell you what, they are picking it up. They are attacking the ball carriers. They're closing out runners. They put a little pressure on the quarterback. Kenyon defense is playing very well.
Mike Gibbons made the tackle, and I believe I met his dad before the game as well.
Mike's dad's great.
Oh, he's an awesome guy.
I think we could pad him. We could pad his dad up with Charlie because I think he can still play.
I like seeing all these old timers, if you will, and I mean that with sincere respect. And there's a pass right through the hands of Jabari Clemens, and that would have been a huge gain. Kenyon College kind of dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, there's certain times you got to help out your young quarterback, and he put. I know Jabari Clemens feels probably pretty bad about this. This is just a straight post. Look where the ball comes.
Oh, boy.
I mean, you couldn't draw it in any better, and that hurts a young quarterback. You got to make that catch.
DJ Manley was there with the coverage for Kenyon. Looked like there was movement in the offensive line there before the ball was snapped. So.
I think you spotted it, Joe. Oberlin has really been out of sync here, and part of them being out of sync is A, Kenyon's had the ball on offense a lot, and B, Kenyon's defense has played real tough. So those two things, I think, have made them get out of rhythm.
Well, it's a perfect alumni weekend because they're beating their fiercest rival,
their
oldest rival, and you've got all these guys and gals back for alumni weekend. There's just a flurry of people gathered. They had tents set up. They were tailgating hours before game time when you and I showed up. 2-3 hours before the game started.
Yeah, you and I got invited to a couple of tailgates on the way in. We turned down a couple of tailgate invites on the way in from the parking lot.
Well, that's just great to see. That's small college. Well, it's big college. Small college. There you see, look at all the people here.
Yeah, it's
decked
great.
out there, Kenyon College purple. Isn't that awesome?
People are so friendly here. I'm literally serious, Joe.
It's like we went to college.
Yeah, we're walking from the parking lot into the stadium. I literally got invited to 4 tailgates. It's a great atmosphere.
That's good stuff. Ian Bell back to receive this punt. Still plenty of time for Kenyon, and that's a miss kick. It went right off the side of his foot, and that's going to cost Oberlin.
And again, Joe, the kicking game. You exchange punts. Oberlin hasn't had the best of the punt deal at all, and you look where you give Kenyon field position. I mean, you're getting field position like that.
That glass building behind her.
You're going to do well offensively.
I want to say something about that. Can you do that while we wait? So Kenyon will come back. There's the indoor facility. Their swimming team has won 35 straight championships.
I think it's 70 million, Joe. I got Marty, their SID. Is it 70?
$70 million.
70 million,
it's one of the
Marty,
nicest indoor facilities you will ever see on any campus.
Yeah, $70 million.
They've got basketball, they've got tennis, they've got swimming. It's mainly swimming facility. It's just gorgeous. And, of course, their swimming team with the 35 championships I was talking about is unprecedented.
Oh, their swim team, they're like what UCLA was in basketball. That's what they are in swimming.
But that facility, if you get a chance to get over here, folks, and we invite everybody to come over and visit, you got to get a tour of that place because it is absolutely phenomenal. It's incredible inside that place. So on 2nd down and 7, Merkel will move his players around a little bit. Now comes in motion. Now he stops and cuts back the other way. Merkel, plenty of time. Ian Bell, and that pass is broken up on a good defensive play.
Well, you got to credit Oberlin on that play, Joe. They had everybody covered. They had Bell covered. They had Hunk covered. There was no place to go with the ball.
Brendan Mapes made the stop. That's a mismatch, though, when you have a linebacker on a wide receiver like that.
Yep, they did a good job.
But he did a real good job.
We have a vantage point up here that's great, and there was no place to take the football. Everyone was covered up. Great offensive line protection for Merkel. He had a 5,000 count.
Yeah, he really did.
And he just couldn't find anybody.
So a good defensive stop for Oberlin. Sets up 3rd and 7. Merkel throwing over the middle. Oh, right through the hands of Ian Bell and nearly picked off by Ben Bernardi.
Well, that was the same play that Bell made the great catch earlier on the straight seam post. Same play, other side of the field. Now, Tommy throws it a little high. Watch this. It's just a little high. If he has that down a notch, that's another catch.
But again, Ian Bell will tell you, he'll go back to the huddle.
He'll go say, 9 will say it should have been me.
He's a class act.
He really is.
And now he's back to punt. He never gets a break. Poor guy.
Yeah, I think he's selling hot dogs at halftime here.
Not a very good snap, but Bell gets the kick off. It's a pretty good one. Drives back to the 20-15 and takes it. Kenyon
get on it. Wow.
Did he go in the end zone or did he down it? Touchback.
They had an opportunity there. But, people wonder why do you want an athlete back as a punter? Well, the reason you want an athlete back as a punter, Joe, that ball came back as a ground ball. It rolled back to him. Now, you have a non-athlete. He would have juggled it, would have dropped on it, would have been a loss. Bell just scoops it up like Alan Trammell and kicks a great punt because he's an athlete.
Very nearly down at the 1-yard line. Sam Dickey did his best, but he couldn't quite come up with the play.
Great play by Bell.
But you're right, a tremendous punt after a snap that was bouncing on the ground or on the turf. They faked the blitz. The give is to Cleo Rivers, and not a lot there. Brought down after a gain of about 2 by Jamal Perkins.
Well, the Lords on defense, Joe, have been very, very solid here in the first half. They could have given up the one post if it would have been caught by the Yeomen, but other than that, I'll tell you what, they've been solid.
Taylor is going to throw. He's got a receiver open, and it's caught inside the 45, down, marked out at the 42-yard line on a great catch by Robbie Reinheimer.
Well, watch Zach Taylor. He reads one-on-one coverage, no safety over the top. He threw a fade. Look where he puts it. That's a beautiful throw. The only person who was going to get that ball was his receiver, no one else. That was just a perfectly thrown fade.
Reinheimer beat Hanratty's coverage there. Now they go back to the run with Taylor. Taylor's got some running room. He's across the 30, he's still on his feet. He's got the first down.
Yeah, Zach kind of used the official there. It was kind of nice. He kind of screened with the official, and they're part of the field, the landscape. You can use them. Receivers use them to pick people off sometimes. Watch Zach. Here comes the official. Get out of my way. I'll get upfield. He kind of pushes the official out of the side.
Taylor again to throw. Same play. This time it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Reinheimer again, but a good defensive play by Brandon Bird.
Well, it was a fade again, but good coverage. Now watch him turn his head around. See how he turns his head around? The DB looking for the ball, and then he fights for it. If he doesn't turn his head around, they'll call that interference.
They will indeed. That's one of those plays where the quarterback almost benefits from throwing it a little short.
Yeah, absolutely.
His receiver makes a play.
Absolutely.
Taylor off a bad snap is going to be brought out of bounds. That's Mike Gibbons again.
Yeah, Gibby's fast. I'm telling you what, boy, he's got an extra gear. You know, Gibby downshifts and watch the speed he comes off the edge here. Bad snap. There it is. Boom. He's lucky to even corral that. Now here comes Gibby. He sees it. Look at the closing speed. That's closing speed. Wow. Good job.
So 3rd down and 17. That was a huge play by Mike Gibbons. And now another bad snap. Taylor's just going to have to get on it at midfield.
Well, and that's what you're really taught to do. Somebody, you know, in the stands eating hot dogs and drinking Pepsis, Joe would say, well, why didn't you pick that up? You're taught to, listen, just secure the ball. At that point, when you try to pick it up, you kick it. The other team gets it. You're better just to possess the football. Oh, boy, that, you know, Taylor was not ready for that snap. He hadn't even started the cadence yet. That's where you got to get to your center and say, hey, well, wait a minute here. What did you think it was on? Because it wasn't what I thought it was on.
Kind of went right by.
Yeah.
BCSN, Tom, is going from your home screen with the Watch BCSN app. Just download the app, and in mere moments, you'll be streaming BCSN live directly to your smartphone or tablet. Watch BCSN is absolutely free for all Buckeye subscribers. We're Buckeye Broadband now. We want you to log on to our website and participate as much as you can on social media. My Twitter handle is @JoeSportscaster. You are, Tommy?
Tom Cole at BCSN.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
So invite each and every one of you to join us, not only on the air, but online as well. All right, so a punt. Boy, the last 2 snaps have really cost Oberlin. They look like they were driving in for a potential score. And now Kenyon and Ian Bell is going to take it at the 11-yard line. They have a minute 52 to play with.
And again, another great play by 9 that doesn't go in the stat chart. But if he lets that ball bounce, it bounces another 7 or 8 yards, and they've got it on the 1 or the 2. It's important that you catch the football in those situations.
Okay, so Tom, do you get conservative here with just 1:52 to go, or do you open things up and let Merkel throw it around a little bit?
You know, that's a tough question here, Joe. I don't think I do throw it around.
Okay.
I think I would like to go in the half 14-3 and feel like, you know, things are pretty good. I don't want to give them an easy score down here on the pick, but you know, Coach Chris, he's been pretty wide open last week and open today, so we'll see.
Merkel's got Nat Henry behind him. They'll bring in motion and the jet sweep with Brian Hunka. Hunka turns the corner. He's out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So they run the jet sweep that time.
Yeah, they run that a lot with Hunka, and he's really good at it. He's a very clever runner, very quick. Haven't really had an opportunity to get him in the deep passing game yet, and I would look for that in the second half because he can get deep. He runs a great post corner. He's good at double moves. You're going to look at number 7. He's as good a small college receiver as you'll find, and you just haven't had a chance to really get him deep today.
Now they'll spread it out. 2 spread to the right, 1 to the left. Merkel with Henry in the backfield. Quick throw intended for Ian Bell. Timing was a little bit off there.
Yeah, and that's one you want to be careful with. You know, they ran a little slant right over the middle, and quite honestly, that could have been picked. Watch this. Here's the safety coming up. See the safety coming up? He comes up a step earlier. That's picked going the other way. If you're going to throw it, Joe, I'd throw it deep down the sideline. So it would be a punt if it's picked off. Get maybe Tommy Merkel outside the pocket so he can have better vision. But I'd stay away from the middle. The middle's the Bermuda Triangle in football and throwing the football.
Bell and Hunka are split out to the right. Green is to the left. The pass is thrown. It's tipped by Bell at the 30, and that was Danger Will Robertson as well.
Danger Will Rogers. I love that, Joe. Yeah, both of those could have been picked. Here we go. Get a seam slant again to Ian Bell. Here it comes. The ball
kind of
floated.
Yeah.
It did float. Ian made a good attempt to get it, but that could have been picked.
But a personal foul. Was that roughing the passer? I believe it was. So that's going to be an automatic first down, and the ball's going to be spotted out to the 30-yard line. So,
Well,
wow, what
now,
a break for Kenyon.
And now you change your offense, Joe. Now you run your offense, and you're trying to score. Now you've got, pretty good field position. You run the whole offense and try to get something going here.
Here comes Hunka in motion again. Merkel rolling to his right, throwing. It's caught by Marcus Townsend. Townsend with a little move and stays on his feet to pick up a few extra yards. Oberlin had that stuffed out pretty well, but Townsend made something out of nothing. Townsend's a 5'7", 181-pound senior from Silver Springs, Maryland.
You want to get in and out of the huddle here with a certain amount of alacrity. You want to pick this up a little bit because you have an opportunity here. One nice 20, 30-yard completion, and you're cooking.
They've got 2 timeouts to the Kenyon Lords. Little misdirection run play. And the big running back, Henry, out across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Well, Nat Henry, man, he's a road grader. I'm telling you, 24, 255. He's bigger than the linebackers. Little sprint draw. Look at, here comes a road grader. It doesn't look like too many people want to tackle the road grader, Joe. He's got those big legs, man. He's 255.
Yeah, he doesn't really look 255, though, does he?
Well, look at his legs, though. Yeah, look at his legs.
He's got those Barry Sanders legs. Remember how big Barry Sanders legs were?
Yeah, Nat's got those big legs, man. I don't think that the Oberlin's real interested in tackling him when he gets ahead of steam going.
Kenyon College is calling timeout. Now, they do have one more timeout left. We're under a minute to go here. If anything, Tom, maybe they can get down into field goal range.
Well, they're in good field, but right. You're right, spot on, Joe. They're in good field position, but now's where you want to take a shot. Okay. You got Hunka, you can get him deep. You got Bell, you can get him deep. You got to take a shot here. Try and hit, a big play, 20, 30-yarder, maybe a double move. Go back to your post, deep post, but take a shot here. This is where you want to take a shot. Get Hunka on a post corner.
So, all right, here we go. Out of the timeout, we'll see what Kenyon has in mind. Merkel. Ball's caught. It was thrown behind Hunka, but he did a good job of catching that football.
Get up on the line, get it going again.
They'll stop the clock momentarily while they move the chains with 53.9.
They must have used a
they did.
timeout here, Joe. But, I think you still got another shot with Hunka. I think you can get him deep. I'm having a hard time covering him today.
That was a good catch. He was able to make an adjustment to that ball that was thrown a little bit behind him. And he made the catch.
This is where you really have to be aware of the clock, understand clock management.
Let's watch this catch one more time, Coach, and watch the ball. So just behind him, but he stopped.
Oh, that's a tough,
brilliant catch.
He made it look easy, Joe. That was a very tough catch because his body momentum was going one way. The ball was going the other way. Really tough catch.
BCS into the play to bring in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan the very best in local and regional sports coverage. Visit BCSN.TV, power the blade for sporting news, video highlights, real-time scores, and in-depth schedules and stats. BCS into the blade bringing you the best coverage throughout the region.
Well, you get Bell and Hunka to the same side, so you'd kind of look for them to be able to. Bell comes in motion. Hunka's one-on-one.
Bell will line up in the slot now, Tom.
There he is. Double move, Hunka.
Hunka's open. Touchdown. What a throw. 42-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah. Well, it was just
Brian Hunka.
It was just a matter of time, Joe. They sent Bell in motion. A great job with Coach Chris in formationalizing Oberlin in a difficult situation. They sent Bell in motion, which created one-on-one coverage. It's a double move, a sideline and up. There's the pump. Here's the up. And, Hunka's just one-on-one, a double move. I mean, he's going to beat that every time. And Tommy Merkel just threw the ball on the sideline and up as well. But Hunka's as good as small college receivers you'll find anywhere in America.
Sebo's on for the extra point. He's got it. It is now Kenyon 21, Oberlin 3. So a 42-yard touchdown pass from Tommy Merkel to Brian Hunka makes it 21-3.
Joe, that's a weapon.
And now Zabi Simo kicks it out of the end zone.
Simo, man, number 10. When you're kicking the ball out of the end zone, he gets a little congratulatory handshake from his teammates and his special teams coach.
Let's take a look at that touchdown again. It was brilliantly thrown, but you had talked off camera about if you're even, you're open. We saw him come open right there.
Yeah, when their shoulder pads are even, the DB and the wide receiver, it's called if they're even, they're leaving. When they're even, you put the ball up because the receiver's running by him, and that's exactly what Tommy Merkel did.
Tremendous throw and a great catch. And it's now an 18-point lead. Quick give. Not a lot of running room, though, for Khalil Rivers. He is up to about the 30-yard line.
Kenyon defense has had a tremendous first half. They really have done a great job, and the Kenyon offense has kept really the yeoman on the bench. I mean, they just haven't had many snaps.
They'll go back to Rivers. Rivers stays in bounds. He's tackled over on the far sideline by Saxon Justice. How many times we called that young man's name?
Justice is getting justice on the football field, Joe. I'll tell you what, he's like a small-town sheriff out there. He's really hitting anything that's moving.
I believe there was a flag on the play as the officials are gathering at the 30-yard line to discuss it. I did not see the penalty.
This has really been a well-officiated game. You know why, Joe? Because you don't notice the officials. They're only calling the things that need to be called. When you notice the officials all the time, that's when you have some bumpy problems.
Holding penalty against Oberlin will back them up, and now they'll probably just take a knee and run out this final 25 seconds.
It's been a great first half defensively for Kenyon and a very good first half offensively for Kenyon.
They're going to stay in a passing formation, spread out, are the Yeomen with Taylor, and he is just going to run it. He's got some running room. He's across the 30. He slides down to the 34-yard line.
It's a pretty good slide. A lot of major league teams would take that slide.
Sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think he's sliding into second.
I don't know if he's got a baseball, I should say, background or not.
Yeah, Zach slid in pretty good there.
So that'll do it. The final seconds tick off the clock, and it was all Kenyon in the first half. The Kenyon College Lords lead Oberlin College 21-3. And I talked about the offense, but you said it a minute ago, it was the defense. That was the story in the first half, allowing just a field goal.
Yeah, they've basically shut down the run. They haven't given up but one big pass play. The Kenyon Lords on defense have done an outstanding job, and really the fundamental tackling, running to the ball. It's been an excellent exhibition of defense by the Kenyon Lords. And then offensively, you've got to deal with Hunka and you've got to deal with Bell. And Tommy Merkel's an emerging young quarterback. The offensive line has done an excellent job. They run their Kenyon Cat with Ian Bell. This has really been a nice mix for Kenyon.
Well, it has, and it's in front of a sold-out house, a packed house of all the alumni, the undefeated 72 team coming back, and that's got to be a little extra incentive as well.
Yeah, and some people play football their entire lives, Joe, and coach and play and are never involved in an undefeated team in any fashion in football. It's very difficult to achieve on any level.
That's amazing because that's about the same time period that Toledo had their great 35-0 run.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go down to Rick Poland, who has head coach Chris Monfiletto. Greg?
Thanks, Joe. Coach, boy, you put things together in the first half, both sides of the football.
Yeah, we did really well defensively, stopping them, not letting them get behind us. I mean, in the second half, I'm sure that they're going to go up top a ton.
Your freshman quarterback, Thomas Merkel, continues to impress here ever since about halftime from last week.
Yeah, he's got to make the easy throws. The easy throws are driving me nuts right now, but he's doing great. He's great.
Well, if it doesn't drive you nuts, then you're not doing your job. So that comes with the territory. But looking at the second half, what do you tell your team at halftime?
You got to treat this like it's 0-0 because they can score points. They came back 29 points last week, so it's a good football team.
Okay, Coach, thanks a lot for your time, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Okay, back to you guys.
Rick and Coach, thank you very much. We appreciate it. There is some of the throng that have made their way back to Alumni Weekend is so special, isn't it? 21-3. We'll take a break and be back in a moment.
Thanks for joining us on Kenyon Football and BCSN. And, you know, really, legend gets thrown around a lot in sports, and people say legend this and legend that. But today I am here truly with a football legend, Coach McHugh. Coach, it's an honor to have you here on our BCSN network. I'm going to take you back real quick. 62 Central Catholic High School head coach, state championship. What do you remember about that state championship, Coach?
Well, practically nothing after that 60 years at my age, but it was a great year. We had some great players. Matter of fact, I met with some of them the other day in Findlay, Ohio for lunch. John Ginter and Phil Hoig and Mike Marciniak. So it was great memories, and the time at Central Catholic was great, and I'm glad to see him doing so great now.
Well, you were a major part of that happening for our Toledo community, for Central Catholic. Anytime you go over to Central and you mention the name Coach McHugh, it evokes a lot of positive memories and great thoughts. Now, Coach, give us the years here at Kenyon. You spent another career here at Kenyon. Kind of take us through the years here at Kenyon College.
Well, we arrived here, Phil Morris and I, in 1967. We had been at Xavier University in Cincinnati. And in 1967, we followed the tradition of Kenyon College. We were 0-8, and they hadn't been winning much. The next year, we were 5-4, and 3 years later, we were undefeated. So we had a great time here. We had some ups and downs, but we had some great football players and some great people. And they're having a football reunion of all the players this weekend, and there's some great people back. Matter of fact, I met with some of them last night at my home from the 1970s, and we had a wonderful time.
Well, it's going to be a great time, the Kenyon game today. And, Coach, you know, what I remember of the Kenyon years, you're such a humble guy, you wouldn't say it, but really you were one of the first guys in college football to really spread things out, start throwing the football, throwing it in a way that was different than it had been thrown before. And you had such tremendous success, and we're so far ahead of the curve throwing the ball. Take us into how did you come across, how did you develop that passing attack, how did you acquire that philosophy?
Well, it really wasn't me. It was Phil Morris, the guy that was head coach when I was the assistant head coach. And we had some great quarterbacks and some great receivers over the years. We had an All-American Chris Myers and his brother Jim. We had Todd Stoner from the Toledo area, who was an All-American receiver now, who is my dentist now, by the way, in Bowling Green, Ohio. And so we had some great players. You got to have great players to have great teams and great stats.
Coach, I think I remember that your receiver Myers, didn't he lead the entire country in receiving one year?
Well, he led the country, and he's the second. He was at that time the second leading receiver in the history of football in his 4 years at Kenyon College. He went on, he tried out with the New York Giants and didn't quite make it, and he's been a successful lawyer in Washington, D.C. for many years.
Coach, your career has been incredible as a player, as a coach, as a mentor, developing young people. I know the admiration and the respect that your players have for you and what you did for them. And how does that make you feel when they come up to you and they say, Coach, I remember when you said this, or Coach, you told me this, and you know, you've made a difference in all of their lives?
Well, I don't know about that, but we had fun here coaching them. We had some great kids, and I was with some of them last night at my home, and we had a great time. Quality guys. They're successful in life all over Ohio. Doctors, lawyers, businessmen, and I didn't have much to do with that, but we recruited well.
Well, I tell you what, I do know the learning field out on the football field, Coach, is where you learn lessons that you carry with you the rest of your life. And, Coach, on behalf of BCSN and Buckeye Broadband, it's an honor to have a true football legend on our network, Coach McHugh. Thank you so much for being with us, Coach.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back with more Kenyon football.
take your favorite live local sports with you wherever you go with the Watch BCSN app. Just download the app, and in seconds, you'll be streaming the BCSN networks live directly to your smartphone or tablet. Miss a game? Hit the On Demand tab and watch any event from the last month in an instant. Download the Watch BCSN app today.
Welcome back to Kenyon College. I'm here with Curtis Williams. He's the star of the game from last week. He had an interception with time running out to preserve the Kenyon College victory over University of the South Sewanee. And Kurt, take me through that play first of all, because it was amazing.
I don't know if I would say the star of the game, so start with that. But just a good play at the end of the game. They were scrambling. If they scored, they would have won. But I guess I had the pick to win it, but it was too close. So. But we ended up coming out of it, so we're trying to build on that coming through to this game, too.
Take me through that play. What kind of a defense were you in? What kind of a read? Did you get a good read right off the bat?
He was actually scrambling around, so all we've been taught to just stay in coverage until he passes the line or until he throws the ball. So I just tried to stay in coverage as long as I could, and then he threw it, and I got lucky, I guess. But
well, you didn't get lucky, man. That's skill. What was it like walking around campus? Hey, you saved the game for us.
There were a lot of people some professors who were at the game who said that. That was nice, but we're just trying to keep that going, keep the positive energy up.
You're signing autographs, everything?
No, sir, but that would be cool.
Give me an idea of Kenyon College. What does it mean to you coming here?
My brother actually went here, so it means a lot to build on his legacy and everything that the guys before us set up. And it's Alumni Day, too, so all these guys are coming back, and we're trying to build on what they built.
Obviously, even though we're focusing on athletics today, academics are so important. What does Kenyon offer to help you pursue your academic career?
Oh, everything. They support us 100% in everything. Athletics, obviously academics, it's rigorous, but they support us through everything.
What do you enjoy most about being out for the football team and being a part of this Kenyon University family?
Just being around all the guys, just being around everybody who I love every day.
Do you realize that this rivalry is one of the oldest around? Kenyon College in Oberlin first started playing back in 1892.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's a long way, and like I said before, the legacy. It's a lot of tradition.
They hold a series edge over you, but not by much. What would it mean to get a victory today?
It would be huge. They're our rivals, obviously. So it's a big win. It's a big win.
Well, congratulations on your success last week. Best of luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
That's Kurt Williams, the star, yes, the star of last week's game. And we'll be right back to Kenyon College right after this.
Want to get back in shape without leaving your living room? BCSN and the YMCA and JCC of Greater Toledo are here to help with your shape up. Whether you're a beginner or advanced athlete, our trained fitness instructors will lead you in the latest cardio, strength training, Pilates, and yoga workouts. Get active with your shape up.
What a beautiful setting here on a Saturday afternoon. Division III college football at Kenyon College. Back with the coach Tom Cole, I'm Joe Rognoski. It's been a good first half for the Lords.
Yeah, things have gone very, very well on both sides of the ball.
We take a look at it. The game didn't get going too well for Kenyon as they allowed a 45-yard or 35-yard field goal, but then here it kicks in defensively and special teams. Zach Taylor, who's sacked. And then the offense. Yeah, they run the Wildcat with this man.
Yeah,
Mr. Bell.
That's his thing. They put him in the Kenyon Cat, and back he goes, and he gets in the end zone.
Later, but not much later, that's Jake LaPointe, big number 52 out of Whitmer High School in Toledo, putting the smack daddy down on Taylor. And then Thomas Merkel. Look at the catch and the concentration by Bell there. Then Merkel with the quarterback sneak. And then back to defense, and well, things started going all kinds of haphazard for Oberlin.
Watch this one, Joe. Double move, sidelining up. Hunka, touchdown. Thomas Merkel, fantastic.
What'd you say? It was a hunka
burning yardage.
I like it. Break down the first half stats for us, Coach Cole.
Well, you take a look at the passing yardage, pretty close to even, 92 and 79. The rushing yards, 182 to 45. That's big. It just had a feel, the stats, I don't think tell the story of this. It had a feel of kind of dominance for Kenyon defensively and dominance offensively because Oberlin never really got in the flow, Joe.
182 yards to just 45 rushing, 92 to 79, very close passing, but the total yards, wow, Kenyon College doubling up, more than doubling up Oberlin.
Yeah, and Hunka and Bell in the passing game are so tough. And Thomas Merkel's just, again, for a freshman quarterback, I mean, his maturation is really something. He's going to be a special player here at Kenyon.
Before we go to break, I want to point out the biggest might be the penalties.
Yeah.
6 penalties for 80 yards, and Oberlin had a drive where they were driving down to potentially score, and it totally wiped it out.
And, Joe, that's why Oberlin's look like they're out of sync, because every time they get a drive going, they get a penalty, and that's it.
Let's take one final commercial break, and we'll be back with the second half kick. You're watching college football on BCSN. Zabi Simo will kick it away from the 35-yard line. Ball's taken at the 15. Up across the 20, up across the 30, still on his feet. Sebo tried to make the tackle, and he whiffed on him. And that's a great return for Oberlin College. Melvin Briggs just got a head of steam, and I'll tell you what, the freshman, 185-pound running back kick returner darn near broke it, took it to the house.
You're right, Joe. It's a straight middle return. Watch this. Sebo's been kicking him out of the end zone, but this one's a little short, but it's a straight middle return. And they're lucky that didn't go all the way.
They are indeed. So while Oberlin brings its offense on the field, let's head down to Rick Poland with another sideline report. Ricky?
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Mike Gibbons, another member of that 72 undefeated team. And, Mike, you have a vested interest in this game.
Well, I do. I have a son playing outside linebacker. But unfortunately, he had a great first half. Went off the sidelines with an asthma attack right before half. So we'll see if he comes back.
Well, it's been a hot, humid first half, and if you're susceptible to that, that can be a problem. But hopefully he'll be fine, get out there for the second half. But, you know, tell us a little bit what it's like about being back here with, all your ex-teammates and Coach McHugh and celebrating that undefeated season.
You know, I, like a lot of us on that undefeated team, we had options to go elsewhere. I don't think any of us felt we made the wrong decision. You can't get a better academic school anywhere, and we were able to play and enjoy this campus and this community for 4 years. It was fantastic.
Well, I'm sure that the fans.
Now, and by the way, now it's even better. It's we probably have 100 people back here that are just kind of talking about the great time we had.
Well, the fans probably wonder what Mike Gibbons is doing these days.
I started an investment bank in 1989. It's called Brown Gibbons Lang. We're a middle market investment bank. We've been very blessed. We've grown and prospered, and it was the business for me. And indirectly, this school's responsible for that. My dad was a teacher. I didn't even know what business was, and they directed me in the right place.
Well, and I guess you're passing on that football expertise as a radio announcer for St. Ignatius.
I still do Ignatius games. We do the Catholic game of the week in Cleveland. I enjoy football, and it's just a lot of fun.
Let's take it up to the booth.
Reinheimer, the recipient of a 29-yard touchdown pass from Zach Taylor to make it 21-9. As we thank Rick and Mr. Gibbons down there on the sidelines. But boy, oh boy, you want to talk about a quick strike. Here it is.
Well, I think the Kenyon safety went for the pick and just misjudged it. He had an opportunity on the pick, and he just misjudged it, and touchdown Oberlin.
That was Kurt Williams, our guest at halftime, who made the game-saving pick last week. But sometimes you got to take chances like that.
Absolutely. You try to make a play on the ball. You always want somebody to make a play.
And coaches are very forgiving when you're working like that, trying to make big plays. Nonetheless, though, Oberlin gets on the board with a long touchdown strike, and it's now 21-10 in the third quarter.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Cable System, is presented by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by Yark Automotive, just what you're looking for.
Good return by Robertson, but there are flags on the play,
Yeah.
so we welcome you back.
Hey, Joe, I think they're going to call a penalty against Kenyon on an illegal block on a kick return. It was a good return, and the official, you usually don't have a complaint about it when it's thrown at the point of attack, and it's thrown at the point of attack. Watch this. They've got a side return on. They get a couple of nice blocks. It was hard to tell on that, but the official was adamant about it. He threw it and when it occurs at the point of attack, you accept it. The ones that are tough to accept, Joe, when it's on the other side of the field and it's not really has nothing to do with the play.
They had a new kick returner back there. That was Ian Robertson out of Aliso Viejo, California.
He showed some good wheels. He got on the outside on the edge. They had a nice return set up.
Big guy, 6'2", 187 pounds. But Oberlin back in this now. They give it to the big man, Henry. Henry looking for running room. Not a lot there. Maybe a pickup of one.
Well, hope Robbie Meager's okay. He went out with an ankle, I think, early in the game. He was hobbling. He blew a tire a little bit, but Nat Henry he's a weapon I think they could continue to develop. Again, we were marveling at 6'1", 255, and you think, well, where's the 255? But if you look at his legs, he's got big legs, powerful legs, and I think he could be a great straight-ahead crush runner.
Well, he's just a freshman, so a lot of these guys out here are learning on the job, if you will. You don't get the chance like you do in major college football to redshirt. And here he is. Nat Henry break into the open field. He's down to 40, 30, still on his feet. He's got one man to beat, and he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
The road grader, we're talking 255. You get a good look at Nat Henry there. We're calling him the road grader, but I'll tell you what, for 255, he can move. There's a straight gash play up the middle. Now watch the road grader. He gets it going. He's holding the football exactly how you're supposed to hold it, tucked in tight into the elbow, and the road grader's got some speed.
That's a 71-yard run for Nat Henry. And it sets up the Wildcat. Here comes Ian Bell back in at quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to call this back. It looked like there was a chop block out on the edge, and they went low, and they're going to call that. And that's a good call. You don't want to be, chopping guys on the outside. That's how they get hurt, but I think that's what they're going to call.
We'll await the official word from the referees, but that's exactly what it looked like.
Well, and they're talking it over, too. I don't know. But take a look.
That's Felios in motion, and then the keeper, the quarterback keeper.
I think it occurred right. It was kind of blocked in our vision, but it was on the outside there. Yeah.
Kind of hard to see on the replay, but the officials will.
They're talking it over.
They will decide. Good officiating crew this afternoon.
Yep, they've done a great job.
As you mentioned earlier, when you don't call their names out a lot, you know they're doing a super job.
Well, a good crew is a crew that they call what they have to call.
Right.
Some crews go out, Joe, you know that, and they kind of want to be the center of the attention of the game, and that's when the game has no flow, it has no rhythm. These guys are great. They're just calling what they have to call. Boy,
they called it on the defense.
Yeah,
wow.
I think what they tried to do is the defender went low,
right,
trying to submarine the blocker and the ball carrier, and they called it on the defense. Take a look at this. See if we can see the defender that goes low that tries to submarine him here. Where is he? See him submarine right there at the top of the screen.
There's the flag. You rarely see that.
Yeah, you don't see that call, but it was a good call. He did go low and tried to submarine the blocker and the runner. And those low blocks, Joe, those are the ones that really get kids hurt.
So Thomas Merkel and company are set up again.
Oh boy!
First and goal. Hunka, look at the run down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Goes Brian Hunka.
Well, Oberlin's had trouble with Hunka all day today, and they just really don't know what to do with him. This is a quick screen on the goal line.
Look how shifty he is after the catch.
Yep.
Watch this.
Boom, 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 boom. There he goes. He changes gears. He's got that little stutter step. He's well over 100 yards receiving today, and 25 or so on the ground on the jet sweeps. He's just really a tremendous wide receiver.
He took a pretty big hit at the end of that play, as a couple of the Yeoman defenders were in there. Now back to Ian Bell and the Wildcat, the Kenyon Cat, if you will. And he's going nowhere. Nice tackle. Big number 36 came up to make the stop. That's Kenny Williams.
Well, Kenny may have saved a touchdown for the Yeoman there. He got penetration, Joe. He jumped in the A gap, the gap between the guard and the center, and he got penetration. Otherwise, I think Ian Bell, number 9, may have been in the end zone.
This would be a big win for Kenyon. They've lost 5 of 7 to Oberlin. In fact, Oberlin has not lost here in Gambier since October 2012. So they've got a 2-game winning streak right here on Kenyon's home field as well. Merkel got a receiver open out of the backfield, and it is incomplete. Ball is pretty well thrown to John Clark, the big fullback coming out of the backfield.
Yeah,
Clarkie's
a good-looking fullback. Look at his arms, those anvils and arms. It's a little circle out pattern to the fullback, and Thomas Merkel put it really right where it needed to be. There was no other place to put that ball, and that's a tough handle for the fullback. It's a tough play. Clarkie gave it a good effort, but that's a tough handle for the fullback.
So now Merkel in the I formation. He's going to throw again. Touchdown on a brilliant one-handed catch by Ian Bell. Are you kidding me?
He's double covered. It's just a little sit-down, turn-in by Ian Bell. He drives down on the goal line. Thomas put it up there. Now watch, he drives down on the goal line. Thomas puts it up. They're holding his one arm down. The Oberlin defender had pinned his one arm, so he only had one hand to catch the ball. He catches it with one hand and pins it against his chest. That's a tremendous catch by Ian Bell.
And Simo's extra point is up, and it splits the upright.
The Oberlin defender, Joe, had pinned his other arm, was holding it, so Ian Bell had no chance but to catch it with one hand.
The bell tolls for Ian at Kenyon College. 28-10 now, Lords in the lead. That was a big touchdown for a couple of reasons. First of all, it thwarted the touchdown that Oberlin had just scored, and it was just a beautiful, athletic, one-handed catch by Bell. Just showing off the kind of weapons that Thomas Merkel has to play with.
And the wind's picking up a little bit, Joe. Somebody's going to have to hold the ball on the tee here. I think it keeps blowing off the tee, so the wind is definitely picking up. But what was so unique about that is Bell went down on the goal line. It was just a little turn in on the goal line, and the Oberlin receiver, or the Oberlin defender, pinned his one arm behind his back, so he only had one arm to catch the ball, and that's what he did.
That's a big play for the special teams, but a nice job of returning that out to the 35-yard line by Melvin Briggs again. He is just a load on special teams.
He is a big guy, and Kurt Williams, number 4, made a nice tackle. He almost was able to pick up the ball on that also.
Very nearly did. That's something, too. Everybody plays special teams. It's not a situation.
No, right. That's exactly how it.
Well, a lot of the coaches, including Urban Meyer, they put their best players on special teams.
You win and lose games on special teams, Joe. I mean, if you're not good in special teams, you are not going to be a good football team. And really, that is a fact.
Kenyon showing blitz. Now they'll back off. Taylor, sideline route, and it's overthrown. Try to get it out there to Robbie Reinheimer, who caught the earlier touchdown pass, but that was well out of his reach.
And that was well covered. Good play by the Kenyon secondary. And they've done a good job. You know, they missed one in the corner down there that they could have made a play on that Oberlin scored, but they've really overall done a great job covering the Yeoman receivers.
So Taylor, they'll go to the spread here. That pass is caught down to the 40-yard line on a good catch. The tight end, Corey Fusinger, made the catch.
Yeah, Corey did a good job. He ran a corner route. Watch this. Out of the gun, Zach Taylor, freshman quarterback. It's a corner route. Put it, really, that's thrown about as perfectly as you can throw it. Nobody was going to get it, but 80.
He just kind of released off the line, and there are the signs that the Oberlin coaching staff are signaling in. We'll get a better shot of those later. This is a good sign for Kenyon because they're all over that as that play was blown up by Alex Van Vliet.
Yeah, he rolled right up into it. He saw it. He saw it was going to be a quick screen. There's a good look at the signs. Each one of the little logos stands for something as an offensive play or a formation, and it's a good way to call in plays. Everybody does that today, or a lot of people do it today in college football.
I think they had a picture of the coach Tom Cole on one of those signs. We got to figure out what play that is. Great pressure by our local product once again. LaPointe was all over Taylor.
Wait,
take a look at that again. LaPointe made a great play.
Jacob LaPointe, Whitmer star, BCSN star. He has another gear to put pressure on the quarterback.
How good has he been?
He's been great.
He forced that throw that almost got picked off.
Some pass rushers, Joe, just have that extra acceleration to close on the quarterback, and Jacob has that.
And here they come again with the blitz. This time it's picked up. Taylor still on his feet. Great job by Zach Taylor. He's a little short of the first down, but
you got to give Taylor credit. Zach Taylor, freshman quarterback for Oberlin, had a huge game last week. Threw for over 300 yards, rushed for over 130. His first start as a collegiate quarterback as a true freshman. He's a good runner. He's very agile. He's very quick. The minute he reads the seam, he gets up inside. He's very difficult to match up with.
He ran the ball 23 times last week, which is for a quarterback. That's just another running back in the back.
That's an incredible amount of punishment.
With a timeout on the field. 28-10 our score. We're back in a moment. We had a great play by Jamal Perkins, and they stop quarterback Zach Taylor in his tracks on 4th and 1. So Kenyon will take over here as we welcome you back to Kenyon College, Dampier, Ohio.
Well, and Justice flew in there 20. He's been in the backfield all day long, and even though he missed on the tackle, Joe, he slowed the runner up so the other Kenyon teammate could make the hit.
He's got 8 tackles already. He does sacks and Justice, and like you said, he whiffed on that, but he slowed
him down
just enough
to close him out. Yeah,
sometimes that's more important than making the tackle.
Joe, you're spot on. That's exactly it.
Thomas Merkel back in the shotgun. He's throwing on first down. He's got Hunka on a wide receiver screen, and that's good for about 5 yards. He stays in bounds, so the clock will continue to roll.
Yeah, the way they're covering that, the way Oberlin's covering that, it's stealing for Hunka. It's 5, 6, 7 yards whenever they want it. He's got a blocker out in front of him. The corner's off of Hunka by about 6 yards. He's going to get 5 or 6 every time they run that play, and he may break a tackle and get big yardage.
So a good gain on first down sets up second, very manageable 5. They'll go to the running back, and that's a first down. And the big guy, we've been impressed with him. He's the backup running back, but Nat Henry has come on, and he's really doing a nice job for the injured Robbie Meager.
I'll tell you what, Henry's kind of a 24. You get a look at him right there. He's kind of an earthquake runner. He's such a big guy, solid when he runs and he gets his shoulders square. You know, the ground shakes a little bit. Now watch it. To get his shoulders square, boom! He really delivers punishment.
And he's 6'1", so he's tall for a running back. He's a big running back. So not only
255,
right.
Joe. That's
a road grader.
Yeah, it is a road grader. He hurts people.
Hunka to the near side.
See, that's just.
And there's your 5 yards again.
Yeah, he can get it whenever they want, Joe. And if they ever throw a double pass off that with Hunka, there'd be somebody standing all by themselves in the end zone. But the way they're playing, that way Oberlin's playing that, Hunka can get 5-6 whenever he wants.
Well, we gave him an extra yard. It was only 4 this time.
Yeah. But what will happen on the 4-yard play, one of these times he'll break the tackle and he'll go 20 or 30. Yeah. That's the pressure that it puts on the defense.
I mean, look how far the defensive backs for Oberlin are playing off all the receivers.
Yeah,
They can't get them 10 yards cushion.
Yeah, you can't play off Hunka like that. You've got to roll up on him.
And Bell the same way. Thomas Merkel sacked. That was more of a coverage sack than anything else. He tried to get a quick pass off, but Hunka had not come open yet, so he wisely, instead of forcing something, and that shows maturity right there.
It does, Joe. You get the eagle eyes up here. Credit Oberlin. They covered everybody. Everybody was covered. We got a great vantage point up here in the press box at Kenyon. There was nobody open, so Thomas did what you should do. Take it up inside. Don't turn it over. Get what you can get.
Boy, Thomas Merkel, for a true freshman, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, he had 184 passing in the first half, so he's a young man with a tremendous skill set.
Merkel fakes the handoff, quick pass to Hunka, and that was a tough pass and catch.
Yeah, and what you won't see this very often, and what Brian did that time, number 7, is his top hand crossed over, and when your top hand crosses over, it kind of forces the ball down, and you won't see that very often.
Okay.
So a punting formation, as Kenyon will punt it away. A very familiar punter, Ian Bell.
Well, he's been great today, Joe, on the punts. It's been a huge advantage for Kenyon exchanging punts.
It's a low kick, and that's going to take a Kenyon College bounce down inside the 10-yard line. Still rolling. Look at this, Tom. How about that?
Ian Bell's been just great in the punt game for Kenyon today.
Devin Wilkins got away from it, and it rolled all the way down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Let's head down to Rick Pola with another very special guest. Rick?
Thanks, Joe. Down here with Yancey Edwards, the class of '09, and taking a look at him, you might be able to guess he was an All-American lineman.
We had some fun, yeah. Thank you. Very honored to be back here. Very honored to be, watching Kenyon take on Oberlin. It's a big game. A lot of alums are back, so we're all real excited to cheer on my boys to win.
So, as you come back here to visit the campus, what kind of memories do you bring back?
The best ones. I mean, all my best friends. We played out here, practice, played. All the guys who I still talk with and still really interact with. All guys who wore the purple, the black. So it's really special for us to share in that memory and to kind of be back in the place and help kind of mold us to where we are.
For the Kenyon fans at home that are watching this game, why don't you tell them a little bit about what Yancey is doing these days?
I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm a public safety consultant. I've been in D.C. for about 6 years. The experience I had at Kenyon with great professors, great classmates and fellow students really helped to kind of shape me into put me in that place. And so, yeah, I love D.C., but I also love getting back to Gambier.
Well, thanks for joining us on the sidelines. Great to have an All-American here next to me.
Thanks,
and continued success in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Tremendous tackle by Brandon Bird.
Well, you got to really credit the Kenyon secondary today. They have just been all over the coverage. And then the Kenyon down people up front have put pressure on a very good quarterback in Zach Taylor.
Tight Bird is playing, and that was just the exact, we can show that again. They're going to call him for pass interference, but he had press coverage up there,
Right, he did, Joe. He did. They had to bracket it inside and out. And the Kenyon defense has just really played well today. This Oberlin offense is a good offense, and they pretty much held them in check.
Yeah, they allowed the one big pass play to Reinheimer, and that was it.
See if we can take it. See if we
See
can
there,
see
he's
it.
got the press coverage. He's got his hands out there, and he's got his hand right on the back. And
it's
over.
a great call by the official. That's a good call. He had him wrapped up. Good call. He knows it. But I'd rather have the DBs be aggressive, Joe, than give away yardage in coverage.
Now a whistle here on a stoppage. There's a problem with the play clock. And now they'll restart. Oh, the pressure was coming. And finally, the tackle. Well, Joe Marabito made the tackle, but the pressure from Hayden Goss really caused that sack.
Yeah, the first pressure, Joe, that we had talked about earlier, that sometimes that first guy that makes penetration and makes the quarterback have to move. Watch this. Here's the first pressure.
That's Hayden Goss.
Yep. See how he made him move? And that movement allowed for the sack. So they both deserve credit on that.
Marabito is from Gates Mills, Ohio, and I don't know where that is. Do you?
I do. I played football with a great teammate, Joe Coy at Ohio Wesleyan from Gates Mills. He was a great player. And
Hawken High School.
Gates Mills, very familiar with that.
So now a false start against the offense. So Oberlin's going backwards here, just exactly what this Kenyon defense has done all day.
We know Zach Taylor's a great quarterback for Oberlin off of his performance last week and the arm strength that he's shown today and the running ability he's shown today. But Kenyon's defense, Joe, has taken him out of his game. They've made him move out of the pocket, move off of his spot, and they've sacked him, a number of times, and that affects quarterback play.
And that pass is caught all the way up to the 45-yard line by Justin Cruz, and he's been silent today for the most part, but that was a big play.
Yeah, last week, number 16, he had a big game. He had about 130 yards in pass receptions, and he will end up, before he's done, he'll be the all-time leading receiver in the history of Oberlin College, and so congratulations to him. He's a very talented guy.
That was a gain of about 40 yards, and now another big gain down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. That was the tight end, Corey Fussinger.
Well, you got to give Oberlin credit. They've been kind of dominated here today on both sides of the line of scrimmage, but you know what? They're still fighting, and they're still playing.
And they're still in it.
Yeah, and that's a testament to their coaching staff, Coach Anderson, and the job that they do, because they are still fighting.
Taylor, again, complete. Fussinger one more time.
And it hasn't been, a very smooth endeavor for Oberlin today. They've had to struggle with, you brought out wisely, talked about penalties, Joe, that have cost them, and it's made their offense a little discombobulated, but they are fighting.
Fusinger just ran out there and tucked himself down and found a spot and said, okay. Now Taylor on the quarterback keeper, and he's down inside the 20 to the 19. This is a good offensive set for Oberlin. They are moving the football.
It is, and you alluded to Zach Taylor's running ability, Joe. This is a straight quarterback sweep. There's no pretext of throwing the ball here. It's nothing but straight quarterback sweep. And Zach Taylor can run the ball. He's proven that. He's pretty agile.
Jack Hanrunner, he finally brought him down, but not before another first down. Taylor over the middle in traffic. It's tipped and caught in the end zone for a touchdown. My goodness.
Yeah, that was going to be picked off. Yeah, Joe, that was going to be, it was a seam post, and it was going to be picked off. The Kenyon safety made a great play on it. You'll see this. Here comes the post. Kenyon safety makes a play. He's got it right there, and that's just, sometimes the football gods work against you. He's making a play on the ball. Kurt, was that Kurt Williams, number 4?
Yep.
He's making a great play on the ball. He's in the right position, making a great play, and it just got tipped. And
that ball was thrown in triple coverage.
Yep. Kurt was in the right spot, making a great play.
And the extra point is no good. So the lead is 12 now. It's getting dicey with 3:31 still to go in the third quarter. All righty, we're back. So Oberlin College, the benefactor of that nice catch off the tip of the end zone, and they're within 12 here, Coach. It's getting a little precarious here.
Well, you know, Joe, you have to give credit where credit's due. I really feel like the tenor of this ball game today that Oberlin's been kind of dominated defensively and offensively by Kenyon, but yet 28-16, they fought their way back into it, and you got to admire that. You know, the kids from Oberlin aren't mailing it in. They're fighting for Coach Anderson, and they're doing a good job.
Well, again, they haven't lost here since 2012. They've won 5 out of the last 7 meetings, both here and over in Oberlin. And they know what this long storied rivalry means, and it would mean nothing greater than coming in front of the 72 alumni that are here for Kenyon College and pulling an upset if you're the Yeomen. But Thomas Merkel and company have a different storyline, and this time Henry goes nowhere as he's stacked up the line of scrimmage.
The way to stop 255-24, Nat Henry, the earthquake runner, is you get him before he gets going, you know, and they did that time. He didn't get a chance to get any momentum up.
This is a crucial series here for Kenyon. Even though they're up big, there's still 3 minutes and counting in this quarter. You don't want to give Oberlin the ball again with the momentum that they've kind of established here in the last 4 or 5 minutes of this ball game.
I think there's more to get in the passing game here. They're single covering on Bell and Hunka, and I think that they could probably get something done.
Well, and there it is to Bell across the 40 up to the 44-yard line.
You know,
so right on cue, Coach.
Well, the coverage, Joe, we see it, so we've got a great vantage point up here, and you know, you just can't. You called it earlier. You can't single cover Bell and Hunka with off coverage. I mean, you got to get up on them. You got to press them. And they're giving off coverage, and it's kind of like going to the grocery store and stealing bread. I mean,
it's almost like the Oberlin defense doesn't want to give the big
right,
play away.
And that's exactly
so
what they're doing.
So they'll let them catch it in front of them,
but it's a slow death because
right.
they keep moving it down the field. And eventually Hunka will do a double move like he did in the first half and be in the end zone.
Looks like a running formation here, and it is. It's Henry.
Boy, I tell you what, he's a freshman, Joe?
Freshman, 6'1", 255-pounder.
Big Nat Henry, 24.
From New Albany, Ohio.
I'll tell you what, he gets it going forward. You know, he's got some gravel in the truck. I mean, he's a load to bring down. He punishes people that come up to tackle.
That was gain of about 4. Call it 2nd down and 6. And Merkel looking again. He's got some running room around the end, but he dumps it off to Bell, and they've got the first down, and they continue to take advantage of that little underneath pass.
Yeah, Thomas, you know, the development of Thomas Merkel and just really his second college football game. He's looking downfield, it's not there, so what do? You go to your check down. Your check down was Ian Bell that time. You saw him coming across on a dig. And what Thomas did that time is he took something off the ball. He didn't drill him with it. He made it, you know, it took pace off of it, made it very catchable for Ian.
So the Kenyon Lords are on the move here. With 60 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Right back to the drawing board and right back to the running game. This time Oberlin was up to the challenge. Tackled by Bennett Jackson. Jonathan Smith was in on that stop as well. So
I think eventually you're going to see that they're back in the Kenyon Cat with Ian Bell, Joe, and I think you're going to see Ian throw out of this eventually. They've shown nothing but run out of it, but I think eventually he's going to throw the football out of it.
Well, he looks over to the sidelines with time running out here in quarter number 3. Now he's looking down at his paper. And he's going to have to call a timeout. You can see there was confusion from the get-go on that.
Well, you want to get it right, you know, at this juncture in the game. You don't want to get it wrong.
Well, this is a big play. He might not get the 11 yards back all at once, but if you set up 3rd and short or 3rd and manageable, that's crucial.
Yeah, you definitely want to get it right.
Let's go down to the sidelines and back to Rick Poland. Rick.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Down here with Reverdy Johnson. Reverdy, What class were you graduate from?
Class of 96.
And in 96, what was it like here at Kenyon?
It was great. The program wasn't like it is today with Coach Monfiletto and this great field and the Kenyon Athletic Center, but we did our best.
Well, when you were here, what was it that stood out most in your mind as a student athlete here at Kenyon?
Just the ability to be an athlete and dedicate myself and the team to being, Division III athlete, but then also having fun and being a student and getting the most out of the academics at Kenyon.
When you come back here for these alumni days, homecoming specifically, you talk about the different things, but what are you doing now? Folks at home aren't here, so you can't get to them. So now you can. What are you doing these days?
Well, I'm running a market research firm. I'm the director of research for a market research firm, working out of my house in Powell, Ohio.
Oh, that's excellent. What about your experience here prepared you for that in real life?
Well, classic liberal arts education at Kenyon. You learn how to ask questions. You learn how to think critically. You learn how to make decisions, prioritize. It's the academic side, but it's also lessons you learn being an athlete, playing football.
Well, we have heard that time and time again from the former football players here about how everything that they had here at Kenyon athletically and academically has prepared them for life. So we appreciate you having us, coming down to talk to us, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Okay, back to you guys.
All right. The final second will tick off, and the third quarter will come to an end. Put up 4 fingers, folks. We're headed to quarter number 4 here at Kenyon. Lords lead by 12. Pass is incomplete. It was overthrown on 2nd 21, so that'll set up 3rd and 21.
Yeah, Thomas threw that away smartly, Joe. Hunka was covered. That time they did have him covered. Credit the Yeoman, and it wasn't there. He just smartly threw it away. Very bright play. And, we should, Joe, credit Rick Poland on the sideline today. He's done a great job with all the interviews. And it's so nice to hear the Kenyon alums come back and talk about their school, what it meant to them professionally, what it meant to them personally.
And they've all been so successful.
Yeah,
to hear what they're doing now. Isn't that wonderful?
It's extraordinarily cool.
So here's Merkel. We're just going to hand it off. Henry gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, man, I tell you, he is the road grader. He gets his shoulders square, man. He's a big guy to bring down. I think they found themselves 24. You get a look at him right there. He's an earthquake runner, man. The ground shakes a little bit when he gets squared up and headed north-south.
Picked up about 10 yards.
You watch him now. Watch him get north-south and see how many guys want to really come up and tackle him. You notice there weren't like a lot of guys were rodeoing him down. They weren't really like taking him on. He's a punishing guy. And Bell's had a great day punting, Joe. His punting has been, I don't want to put a jinx on him here, but boy, his punting today has been excellent.
He's punting with the wind from his own 46-yard line. And he hangs it up high in the air. Fair catch called for, and they'll let it go to the end zone for a touchdown.
He's really had a good day. The differential on the punting, Joe, to see the difference it makes. Kenyon's averaging 43 yards a punt, and Oberlin's averaging 30 yards a punt.
Sports Nightly, Tom Coles, now every night at 10:30. Join the Sports Nightly crew for all the latest scores and highlights from Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan sports. 5.5 hours of live high
Yeah.
school football
the game
coverage
it's
on
unprecedented.
Friday night. It's unbelievable.
It's unprecedented in local sports, and they've changed the paradigm of way people watch sports on Friday night. They've done a great job, and
great
also
thing.
credit our general manager, Mark Jeroman. He's been responsible.
He is the mastermind behind it all.
It was
Yep.
his idea and his
Absolutely.
energy, and then the gang has executed it. So it's been a team effort.
Taylor, not a lot of running room there. He got up to about the 19-yard line, but that's it. So it's 2nd down and 11. Here it is again. Nice job of closing.
Kenyon's been all over Zach Taylor today, and he is a talented quarterback, and they've been after him.
Van Vliet made the stop, and there's another big hit by Jamal Perkins. We've called his name several times as well.
Yep. Jamal, again, good speed, good quickness, closing out the runner.
He's a senior, 6'1", 237 from Baltimore's Boys Latin High School.
It was almost a forward shuffle pass, but look at all the defenders around the ball carrier. Kenyon is running to the ball today very well.
The quarterback and the running back were so, as that pass is incomplete, we're so close there, Tom, that Perkins almost cover both. Did you notice that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't the right relationship. You're absolutely right, Joe.
So they try to go for the home run ball to Robbie Reinheimer. Caught 2 touchdown passes for Oberlin.
And again, Joe, the paradigm that's been set up here, exchange punts. So Bell kicks it all the way down. Now, I'm not trying to, nothing pejorative to the Oberlin punter, but it hasn't been a good day thus far. So you get a short punt here in a return. It's going to mean a lot field position-wise.
Punter to punter, it's Ian Bell back for Kenyon, and that's another poor punt for Oberlin. It went right up the side of his foot.
You exchange punts, and look what you got. Look where Kenyon's going to possess the ball, just on exchanging punts. That's how valuable, the punting game in football, people just don't get it, but, man, it's the greatest offensive play. If you have a good punter and good coverage, you can just exchange kicks with people, and suddenly you're in 4-down territory.
Now, in his defense, he was punting against the wind, but still, you're right. The punting game and the special teams in general
special teams
has been stellar for Kenyon. So Thomas Merkel back in the shotgun. Bell will light up in the slot here. They'll fake the give. Throw it downfield. Caught by Hunka. Down inside the 10.
That was all Hunka. It really was a corner route. This is really cool. It was a corner route. Hunka was covered, and he took it up on his own and signaled the quarterback and created a window for Thomas Merkel to drop the ball into him. He's just a spectacular receiver. See him go up with the apex of the ball, getting it at the high point, Joe. This kid's one of the best receivers in small college football. He really is tough.
That's a 32-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal at the 6. And if they put it in here, they will take all the momentum and all the air out of the Yeoman's tires.
And Kenyon's eating clock, and they're in the Kenyon Cat. And Ian Bell is so patient back there. He's not, he lets the play develop. He lets the block develop. Number 9 has had a big day again for Kenyon.
Well, he does it all. Quarterback, receiver, putter.
Yeah, he was selling programs before the ball game and parking cars. I mean, he really is just very versatile. Former high school quarterback, so you know the kind of athlete that he is.
Well, we talked to his dad. We were baiting his dad to tell us whether he was going to throw out of this formation at all. His dad wouldn't give away the playbook. He's got it. Well, now the flag comes in. I was going to say he had an angle to the end zone, but it closed quickly, and then a flag came flying in. That's probably going to be against Kenyon.
But it's more snaps. They're eating clock. Oberlin, you can't get back in a game with your offense on the sideline. It's really tough for the offense to score on the sideline.
So it is indeed a holding penalty against Kenyon.
Timeout. Kenyon, your second charge timeout.
So the Kenyon Lords will call a timeout and talk about this. They will be backed up. We'll see where the spot's going to be here, Coach. I think around the 14-yard line, and that's indeed where they'll put it down.
Well, you don't want to get the penalty down there, but, you're eating clock. You get more snaps. And again, you're keeping the Oberlin offense on the sideline. So
that might not have been a bad penalty when it comes to bad penalties, because you're still inside the red zone. It's just second down, so you're going to run more time off the clock and make it more difficult for Oberlin to come back. And if you could score at least a field goal here, that's a 2-score lead.
Yep, you got a lot of good things going on there, Joe. And you know, you really do credit Coach Anderson and his kids, because I really feel like Kenyon's dominated the day today. But the Oberlin kids have hung in there, played tough.
If they're able to get a touchdown and go up 3 scores potentially, or nearly 3 scores, that would be a huge advantage with time running short here in the fourth quarter. But we still have 11:40 to play, and anything can happen, as you know, in college football.
Well, they're single covering Hunka again, and they're playing off coverage, so they can get that quick hitch out to him if they want it.
Merkel with Henry in the backfield on 2nd and 14. Merkel rolling to his right. They're looking for Hunka in the end zone. Nearly caught. That was thrown into pretty good coverage by Oberlin.
They did cover Hunka well that time. I think they'd have been better off just going to the hitch. Get it to Hunka quick. He had 7 or 8 yards that he would have picked up automatically, and maybe make the first guy miss.
Adrian Kelly out there on the defensive coverage, and there you see he's all over it.
So also
Jackson there as well.
I'm sorry, Joe. Also, the fact they're doubling now, they did come over and double Hunka that time. If they're doing that and they're going to double him down to the goal line, then Bell's going to be open, or 11 for Kenyon will be open.
Yeah, that's Jabri McLean.
McLean will be open if they're continuing to double Hunka.
McLean goes in motion. Merkel, and the ball's dropped. Very frustrated there is John O'Brien, the tight end out of Madison, Ohio.
Well, he just hits his head off the ball, and it's a simple fundamental, but when you kind of sneak a peek where the defense is and you hit your head off the ball, bad things happen to you as a receiver.
So Zabi Simo comes on for another field goal attempt. This will be a 31-yarder.
Boy, Simo's a good kicker. I don't want to put the jinx on him, but man, he kicks the ball out of the end zone. He looks pretty solid.
And he has what is now a strong wind at his back, and he knocks it right through. So Simo with the 31-yard field goal is now 31-16. So Zabi Simo will kick off. It's now a 31-16 Kenyon College advantage, and I'm pleased to be joined here in the press box by Charlie Contrada. Charlie's made his way up from the field to the press box to take in the game, and Melvin Briggs is going to return it out to the 28-yard line. First of all, congratulations on that 72 team. You got a lot of your old teammates here. That must feel really cool.
It really is cool. Yeah, we were undefeated in 72 with Coach McHugh as our coach. It was a wonderful time, and we got a bunch of guys back for this game, so that's super.
What's it like coming back here? I know you come back here mostly every weekend, but just seeing the atmosphere here, the field turf is brand new, just the second year of it, and all the people that enjoy this setting and these facilities.
The athletic facilities truly are second to none in the Division III, and probably are better than some MAC schools. And Kenyon's performed admirably on the field. And Oberlin's had no quit today, that's for sure.
Give us an idea as that handoff to Rivera is going nowhere. It's blown up at the line of scrimmage on a great defense. So that's Perkins again. Jamal Perkins, pick number 28, getting there for the first hit. The ball was coughed up, but it was recovered by Oberlin.
Yeah, it looks like Kenyon's been dominating the line of scrimmage here the last 10 minutes or so. Maybe they're in better shape. Maybe their defense is just better. But their offense, too, seems to be dominating.
Charlie, give us an idea what it was like in '72 going to college here.
Well, it was fantastic. You know, it's a highly regarded liberal arts school, and they had just had women come to the school. It was an all-male school for the first 100 years or so. So that was really exciting. And, you know, playing sports here was fabulous. We enjoyed Division III ball, and we traveled all over. We made road trips to New York several times, played Hobart, played Hamilton. We played all over. It was a wonderful experience.
The friendships you make at a small college like this, especially being involved in athletics, those are lifelong friends that you will have forever.
You're absolutely right about that. You know, and it is a small school, and you kind of know everybody. And, you know, these small schools, the administration wants to keep you here. You know, they don't want dropouts. You know, some of the bigger schools, back then, Ohio State had like a 20% dropout.
Well, they try to flunk you out of the bigger schools.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think that's so true anymore, but so it was a real, you know, close-knit family community, and I think athletic bonds at any level, at any school, are strong.
Coming from high school, what stood out about Kenyon College that made you say, I want to go there?
Well, in some ways, it was Coach McHugh. And the other thing, I played for Tommy Lyons at Toledo Rogers,
right,
who was very close to Coach McHugh. And I came down after our season and saw a game, and I said, I could play here. And that was really exciting. And I got recruited heavily by Ohio Wesleyan, so I could have played with Tom at Ohio Wesleyan, and also by Denison. But of all three schools, there's a different feel about Kenyon that I really liked.
Coach Tom Cole didn't want you on his team. He said, nah, he saw enough of you. He still complained about those illegal hits you put on him when he was quarterback at St. John's and you were playing with Rogers. He says those Rams always cheat. They've cheated for years.
No, absolutely not.
And it started with Contrada.
No, there was nothing illegal about those hits.
Let's put Tom on headset for a little bit.
Well, Charlie, I've got a back that, you know, I don't know. I might, no, you were.
Yeah,
Charlie,
but spearing was legal back then.
Joey's a great ball player in high school, and super ball player here at Kenyon, and, you know, just a consummate professional. And what struck me, Joe and Charlie, is all the guys on the sideline that were interviewed, your former teammates, their success professionally. You've had incredible success here in Toledo as the car accident lawyer, and you know, you've built an incredible career. You and your wife, Carol, is county commissioner and a lawyer with you in the Contrada and Associates. But all these people are all successful. That's going to make you feel good.
You know, it really does make me feel good. And, you know, I think that competitive spirit playing football here for Coach McHugh, you know, he instilled that. I mean, he set a really high bar. And if you didn't get over top of that bar, he was in your face.
Yeah. I can see where Coach McHugh could be a little tough. I got a little bit of that. What do you think, Charlie, is an old defensive back and monster man? I don't know if you guys did the monster coverage at that time, but
no, I was the monster.
You were the monster guy. Okay, you got to come up and you got to tackle 24. I've been calling him Earthquake Henry for Kenyon. He's 255, Charlie. He gets his shoulders square. You know, you're coming up and tackling 255. Henry in the backfield, there he is, good look at 24.
Yeah.
That's a tough gig.
It is. But, you know, back in our day, you know, we'd put the face right in the numbers, you'd wrap your arms and see what happened. It would be fun to play against him, actually. We played against a guy out of Hobart named Oleskowitz who led the nation any division in rushing. He was fabulous, and we beat him 2 years. Oh, another great catch. And the moves after.
Thomas, you know what, in Joe and Charlie, we haven't credited enough the offensive line for Kenyon. They've given Thomas Merkel, there was perfect pass protection there, gave him a perfect window to find Hunka, number 7. He just did a little turn in. He found a soft area in the coverage, a soft window. Look at the protection. He steps up. There's Hunka, finds that. He settles in that soft area there. I'm telling you, guys, this number 7 is one of the best small college receivers I've ever seen. He's got to be 150, 160 yards today, and he makes it look easy.
Yeah, he does. We had a great receiver when I played named Chris Myers, who actually got drafted by the Giants. He made it to the last cut, but never played professional football. But this guy reminds me of Chris Myers. But Chris went about 6'1". If this guy was a little bit taller, who knows how far he could go.
I've been saying, Charlie and Joe, that I think Hunka could play arena, and I think he could play in Canada. I mean, he's got that kind of ability.
Oh, yeah. And actually a number of players from Kenyon have played in Europe, including my son played in Belgium. And they just love having American players on those teams.
That's such a good option to go to Europe.
It
you
really
don't think
is.
Of, but these guys can make six-figure salaries, go over there, play for a couple years, and extend their careers, and really enjoy what football has provided their entire lives.
And Europeans love American football. They really do. Oh my gosh!
Oh, Merkel caught it.
Yeah, another reception.
Not so sure he didn't want to bat that one down, but that's okay. What do you think of the freshman quarterback, Thomas Merkel? Just what he's done today and last week, of course, for over 300 yards?
It's phenomenal. He is as cool as a cucumber. I mean, nothing seems to upset him. And that's what I give him credit for. There's no nerves. I'm sure he's nervous before the game starts, but once he gets under center, and quite honestly, I thought the first series he looked a little tight, and then he just relaxed, and then he's a fantastically accurate passer.
You know, we were kind of half joking, but kind of half serious, saying both of these young freshman quarterbacks performed so well last week. If they took a step back this week, it wouldn't be all that bad because they were just dynamite.
And the Oberlin quarterback is terrific.
Zach Taylor, yeah.
But the one thing that surprised me about the coaches, he didn't run the ball much between the second quarter and the end of the third quarter. And I don't know whether he was injured or was afraid he was getting hit too much. And I thought that really slowed down their offense tremendously.
As a defensive guy, you got to love that.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to be all over that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's wonderful.
All right, tell us a story suitable for air, and I know that's always the case with you, Charlie, but you and your buddies been talking about the last 3 quarters or so. Some good old football story that the fans at home would be interested in hearing about Kenyon College. Something that really steps out or stands out.
Well, in '72, we were undefeated, and we scored a touchdown in our second game with 6 seconds left to get that game. We went down and played a team in Southern Ohio, and they outweighed us 25 pounds a man, and we were able to beat them like 10-7. I mean, there was close games. Wooster had a great running back, and we were able to bottle him up. In 1972, with Coach McHugh as a defensive coordinator, the other teams averaged 8.7 points per game.
Wow.
So we bent a little bit, but we didn't break very
Well, there's
often.
Tommy's favorite receiver, Brian Hunka, 30-yard touchdown catch, and it's now 37-16.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal.
Well, yeah, Hunka's got to be around 200 yards today, guys. He did a little turn in. Thomas Merkel put the ball on him. The extra point is good by Simo, and then Hunka took it to the house. He's special.
Yeah, and the fans may not know this, but there's a terrific rivalry between Oberlin and Kenyon. You know, they're both ranked very high on the academic scale, and they take it out very much in the playing field as well. So it's two very competitive schools, academically and athletically.
And Hunka takes it to the house as we'll take a break.
Good thing you didn't go up inside the
Yeah, I know.
You want me to brush him off?
All right, so a great touchdown. Another one for Brian Hunka. He's having an absolutely huge day. Up over 200 yards receiving now. And Zabi Simo's been doing this an awful lot. That's kicking off. 38-16 our score with under 6 minutes to play. And Briggs is going to let that one go over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. Let's head back down to the sidelines with Rick Poland. Rick?
Thanks, Joe. Down here with Todd Stewart. And Todd, welcome back for homecoming.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
You have an interesting story about recruiting here.
Yeah, I was class 94, so when I was recruited in 90 and I came here for an overnight visit, I was, spending the night with a couple of players, and the interesting thing about it was being an overnight, I was just basically stuck in a dorm room because all the guys on the team were either writing papers or studying. And when that happened, I thought, well, this is the place for me because they got their priorities straight. They're taking their academics seriously. That's why I came here.
Well, we hear that theme often from the student athletes here about the combination of the athletics and the academics and how, they go hand in hand and it's not just lip service here.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, there was definitely a strong emphasis among the players, too. I mean, I think all the guys, if you come in, the upperclassmen are very serious in making sure that the underclassmen are getting their grades done and doing everything they need to do in the classroom.
So what's Todd doing these days?
I'm a project manager at J.P. Morgan Chase in Columbus.
So another successful alumnus here that we've talked to today. And I know that you owe it all to the great program that you went through here. And, if you're talking to a prospective student, what would you say to them?
This is being a liberal arts school. It's definitely a place that can help you think on your feet, really develop you intellectually. It's some skills that really can transfer to anything you want to do in life, any career you choose. It gives you the skills to do that.
Well, it's been great having you with us today, as well as all the other alums here that took part in homecoming. And good luck to you and everyone here at Kenyon. They treat us very well, and we appreciate everybody here. And thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for your support.
Okay, guys, back to you.
All right, 4th and 1, big play here. Zach Taylor has it, running for the first down, but he might have been short. He got clobbered there, kind of stonewalled at the 35-yard line, but they are going to give him enough for the first down. Back in the press box with the coach, Tom Cole, and our good buddy Charlie Contrada, 1972 graduate of Kenyon College. You see the replay, Charlie.
They pulled
very
him down
narrowly
hard.
got it.
Yeah. It's a good spot for Oberlin.
I was talking to you just a moment ago when I looked down this roster, and Coach Cole and I were just impressed with not only all the Ohio kids are on this Kenyon College team, but you reach the entire world, the entire country. Virginia, California, Texas, Michigan, obviously, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, it's just amazing.
But, the team reflects the college. The college started a strategy about 27 years ago to really become a national and nationally known academic and sports school. And we were talking to the president just today, and 40% of the students at Kenyon participate in varsity sports. I mean, it's a very high number. And it makes it very difficult for the coaches, but Coach Monfiletto recruits nationally at a Division III school. So that's how those people are here. And back when I played and Coach McHugh was here, it was primarily Ohio and Michigan football players. And Coach McHugh had a network of high school coaches that he worked closely with. So we had 5 or 6 kids from Ignatius. We had 5 or 6 kids from Toledo. And it was much more regional.
Well, our own coach, Tommy Cole, did a great interview with Coach McHugh earlier in the telecast. And Tom, just talk about what he means to Kenyon and how you got to know him at Central Catholic.
Yeah, Coach McHugh is, again, we talked about being a legend, and people throw that around, but you win a state championship at Central as he did, and he's going into I believe the 62 Central state championship team are going into the City of Toledo Athletic Hall of Fame November 7th, and we'll be there. Look forward to that. So justly deserved. But he made a mark for himself, Joe and Charlie, at Central. Then he came to Kenyon with Coach Morris, and Coach McHugh handled the defensive side of the ball, as Charlie was talking about. Coach Morris was the offensive side, and they came with a prototype offense that hadn't been seen in college football, where they spread it out and threw it all over, really resembling what offense is today, and back that up with solid defense. Oh boy!
Oh yeah! How about that? Touchdown!
A 61-yard return. That was nice to take. The alumni of popped out right into his hands. Joe Marabito, and we talked about his prowess earlier, Coach Cole, and there it is.
Well, and we got to credit 20 if we can. Justice came off the edge, and all day long, Joe, Justice has gotten his due justice in the backfield. He came off the edge. He caused that the quarterback to have to hesitate. He caused that ability to get the football, and then the big man, of course, Marabito took it to the house.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
Just an incredible turn of events, and that just shows you, that typifies how good the Kenyon College defense has been today, because they have been absolutely dominant. 3:45 to go, 45-16, Kenyon in command. In a 45-16 game, it sounds a little strange to say that what you just saw might be the player of the game, but my gosh, Joe Marabito, he's a fan in the press box. You probably heard the press box going wild, but just an incredible defensive play. And Coach Tom Cole, Joe Rodowski back in the booth here, and oh boy, check this out. We'll watch it one more time.
Now watch Justice, 20, come off the edge. See, Justice causes that. Marabito's right there, heads up, 20 and 30 for Kenyon. And now watch the big man turn shoulder, and he says, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm a fullback too. Maybe Coach Chris could use me in the backfield, because he's picking him up and laying him down pretty good. But he's going to thank Justice in the locker room, because Justice caused that ball to pop up.
Yeah, it was Saxon Justice that made the big play that allowed Marabito to get that ball as it popped in the air and then take it the other way for the score. That's fun, though. Isn't that fun?
It is.
On
Marabito was
alumni
moving
weekend.
pretty good. Some of the guys up in the box are questioning his speed, but Joe, I'll tell you what. I mean, the big man was picking him up, laying him down. He was moving.
Back to Melvin Briggs on the carry for Oberlin. We're down to the final 3.5 minutes now here, Tommy, and it's just been an impressive day all around for Kenyon.
This is a big win for Kenyon, because on both sides of the ball, they have been dominant today, and that's a huge confidence win for them.
Well, it's a huge rivalry, and it's also huge because this is a conference game. They play in the North Coast Athletic Conference, and whenever you get those conference victories, they mean so much more.
You know, Joe, when you play consistently, play good defense, anything is possible. And Kenyon really looks like the defense this year. The down people can stop the run. They pressure the quarterback, which they've done all day to a really good quarterback, Zach Taylor. Secondary people cover well. They tackle well. So this is a solid Kenyon defense. And then on offense, Thomas Merkel, again, as you've talked about today, Joe, is really emerged as he's going to be a special quarterback.
Thomas has been outstanding. The backup quarterback, Christian Flynn, in now for Oberlin, running for his life on the far sideline. He finally goes out of bounds.
And Hunka, I don't know what you do with Hunka as far as coverage. I mean, he's going to get his, and he causes other people to be open because he's doubled all day long. He's just a special guy. And, of course, Ian Bell, number 9, what he means to this team, running the Kenyon Cat, the great punting, possession receiver, he's been special also.
Well, I think Oberlin came in with a game plan that they're not going to get beat deep, and they just allowed all that stuff underneath. And credit Coach Chris and the Kenyon coaching staff for putting together a brilliant game plan. They saw what Oberlin was giving them, and they continue to take it time and time again, and that's a sign of a really good coaching staff.
That's a great observation, Joe. They were playing soft coverage. They didn't want Hunka to beat him deep. Bell beat him, on a post once. Could have been twice if they could have made the catch on a high post. But what happens with Hunka is you pull the coverage up eventually, and he's going to double move you, and he did a double move for a touchdown today. And then on the underneath stuff, when he catches the quick screens and the hitches, he can make you miss, and then he takes it to the house. So it beats you either way.
Well, those are great possessions because they move the chains and they keep the clock moving. So
it's been a great day here at Kenyon. It's so cool to talk to the former players.
Isn't it awesome? This is a perfect weekend with all the 72 team back.
And what the school means to them, it still means to them, and the memories it invokes, and what it's meant to them professionally, what they've learned in the classroom and what they learned on the field. It really has been a fun day.
Well, it's amazing all the success stories that we've encountered over the days, and that's intercepted. And that might be taken back. Well, he's trip it up now. That's 26. We do not have him on our roster, and even the guys in the press box are going to lose that.
Well,
that's okay. That's a big play for that young man, and we congratulate him.
Yep, nice interception. He closed on the ball. Take a look. 10 puts it up, just kind of puts it up. Watch him closing the ball. He read the route and just closed on it. That's a great play. I'll tell you what, he keeps making plays like that, Joe. People are going to know who he is. I'll guarantee you that.
Trevor Brown, I understand.
Trevor, there you go. You made a big play.
Job.
Trevor read the route. It's called jumping the route, Joe. He jumped the route. He saw it. He jumped it and made a play.
Back to all the guys we've met today, the guys and gals that we've met, and all the wonderful stories. I think the thing that stands out for me is all the success they've had beyond college. They're all in great careers. They've gotten jobs quickly and really have done a lot of good coming out of this fine institution, this fine college. And you know, that's what you get if you enroll at Kenyon. You get a great education, you're going to get a job, a good job. So start your life out well. But that's what stood out to me.
Yep. You're right, Joe. You framed it very well. It's impressive that these gentlemen and gals have come back and how much the school still means to them. You know, I mean, they still have that strong attachment and such positive vibes about the school and what they learned and the friendships. It really makes you feel good.
Here comes the pressure again. The ball is fumbled. Almost recovered, but it goes out of bounds. Big pressure off the end by number 54.
Well,
that's Xavier Christian Hensley for Kenyon College.
I think the big man was thinking, I'm going to get a scoop and a go here.
He was ready for it.
He was ready for it, yeah. We'll take a look. New quarterback. He's pressured. Ball comes out. 9-1 gets on it.
Back to the ground game as the final 20 seconds will tick off. Big win for Kenyon College. After a nail-biter last week, this turned into a laugher kind of early. 45-16 the final, but Oberlin had a couple possessions there in the third quarter. You thought they were going to do something, but credit this stout defense for Kenyon College. And the fans are on their feet, and certainly so on Alumni Weekend. What a great win for the Kenyon Lords.
Yeah, really dominant performance defensively and offensively for the Lords. They really, really have played well. Their quarterback, Thomas Merkel, had another outstanding game, Joe. And, you know, the offensive side of the ball, Hunk and Bell are what they are. They're just class quality receivers. And I think Oberlin is going to be a decent football team. I see talent there. They've got great numbers. They've got a great quarterback. They've got talent. It just didn't work out today for them.
Well, the backup running back, Nat Henry, when Rob Meager went down, he came in and really provided spark.
I like Henry. I'll tell you what. Again, at 255, the ground shakes a little bit when he runs, kind of an earthquake runner, but he did a very good job.
We want to take the time now to thank all the good people here at Kenyon College. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that on Alumni Weekend. So many people came up to
Yep.
both you and I, and
Yep.
we can't thank the good people here at Kenyon, from the head coach all the way down to the trainers, for being so welcoming and making our job so easy.
Yeah, we were received so well. It was such a great day today, and they're outstanding SID. Marty Fuller always takes care of us,
Great
always
guy.
gives us the information, and it's been a wonderful day here at Kenyon College.
Well, and it turns out into a 45-16 victory. That's 2 up and 2 down here in the season 2016. So congratulations on Alumni Weekend to the Kenyon College Lords. They win it 45-16 to the coach, Tom Cole. Craig Weeks, our esteemed director, and our entire crew. I'm George Noski, reminding that today's telecast has been brought to you in high def, courtesy of Dave White Chevrolet. The place to go is Alexa Monroe. Dave White Chevrolet. So long, everybody.